Ohio State, celebrating 100 years of football. This is Downing from the shotgun, throwing toward the end zone, intercepted, picked off by David Brown of Ohio State, racing down the sideline in front of the Ohio State bench. David Brown with a good cutback move. He's gone for a touchdown. Here's a short pass to Carlos Snow. He's got 20 yards and more. Snow on the loose, down the far sideline, all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Buckeyes! This is Greg Fry for the go-ahead touchdown. It is caught! Dyke Stadium on the campus of Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. It's Ohio State football. Today, the Ohio State Buckeyes meet the Wildcats of Northwestern. Hello, everybody. This is Jack Kramer along with Paul Warfield, and we're delighted you could join us for Ohio State and Northwestern in this, the Buckeyes' 8th game of their 100th season of football. Buckeyes are coming off a great come-from-behind triumph over Minnesota last week, 41-37. Paul, if there were any doubts about Ohio State's passing game, Greg Fry and company put them to rest 1 week ago.
Well, Jack, Greg Fry did a great job of spreading the football out among several receivers, but the guy he went to in the clutch was Jeff Graham, and Jeff Graham did a great job of getting open. So there's no question that this Ohio State passing game can complement the run game.
That Buckeye win a week ago vaulted Ohio State into the lofty position of 3rd place in the Big Ten, heading into today's game against the Wildcats, which are a team that can't be taken lightly.
Well, Northwestern can be a little bit scary. This team is not the old Wildcat team of the past. They've got great personnel offensively. O'Brien, their quarterback, fine scrambler. Buchanan's the #1 receiver in the Big Ten. Their running back, Christensen, he's in 2nd place in the conference in rushing. So it's an offensive team that can put points on the scoreboard.
Ohio State's at a point in the season now where the defense can make a difference.
Well, the defense made a difference last week, shutting out, well, not exactly shutting out Minnesota last week, but holding them to 6 points in the second half. They'll have to do the same thing again this week, all day long, against a very fine offensive team from Northwestern.
Buckeyes haven't played the Wildcats since 1986, haven't played them here in Evanston since 1985. Ohio State's won the last 13 meetings between the two teams. We're seconds away from the kickoff of today's game between Ohio State and Northwestern.
At The Ohio State University, you can get an outstanding education. Just ask the people who've graduated, our alumni.
If you pick a good school, and Ohio State had a great theater department when I was there, it gives you 4 years to get training, and it gives you a disciplined way of getting training. I had a great education at Ohio State University, and it really prepared me for New York.
Be a part of something great. The Ohio State University.
It is a windy day in Evanston. However, Paul Warfield, we get a break. Breeze blowing from the south and not off the lake from the north, thank goodness.
But there's a lake up here nevertheless, Jack. It's Michigan over there, and it's awfully chilly up here.
Temperature in the low 40s at best, but it could be a lot worse in the month of November in Evanston. Stiff breeze blowing out of the south. And the Northwestern Wildcats will have a wind advantage in the first quarter. Interesting situation has already developed. Buckeyes won the toss here at the start of the game, deferred choice until the second half. Northwestern elected not to take the football, but to choose goal. And the Wildcats, thus, will kick with the wind. They'll have the wind at their back in the opening period. Buckeyes, though they deferred choice, will receive the second half kickoff. Lee and Snow inside the 5. Craig Foreman kicks off for the Wildcats. The game is on. And behind the wind, the ball gets a good surge 2 yards deep. Here comes Snow. And he's greeted by a host of purple-shirted Wildcats at the 15. Return of only 17 yards as Greg Gill saddled Snow right at the 15. Buckeyes start deep in their own end of the field.
All right, the Buckeye offensive line today: Tim Moxley, Carl Coles, Dan Beatty, Jeff Davidson, Joe Stasiak. The receivers: Jim Palmer, Greg Beatty, and Jeff Graham. The backfield: Greg Fry, quarterback; Carlos Snow and Scotty Graham are the running backs.
Quarterbacking for Ohio State, number 15.
Ohio State moving from north to south against a very stiff wind. Carlos Snow, outside left tackle, slips ahead for 4. Thomas Humko, an inside linebacker for the Wildcats, tripped him up. Second down, 6 coming. For Northwestern defensively, along the line of scrimmage, Broker, Lau, Frevoletti, and Feaster. Your linebackers are Sutter, Witt, and Humko. In the secondary, Eaton, Thomas, Gill, and James. Only one senior for Northwestern on defense. A young defensive core. Carlos again, probes right guard, cuts it back for 4 more, leaves the Buckeyes 2 shy of a first down. Third and a couple coming. John Broker made the stop for Northwestern. Matt Witt assisted.
Gain of 4 yards on the play.
And it is 3rd and 2, Paul. A big possession down for the Buckeyes right off the bat.
Earl, it'll be interesting to see what the call will be for Ohio State. They're coming out in I formation, looking as if they're going to run the football, but Greg Fry, of course, had a great day throwing the football last week.
This is Carlos, and he may have gotten it as he trudged ahead between left guard and tackle for about 2.5 yards. And it is a first down for Ohio State. Mike Lau, the defensive left tackle for the Wildcats, subdued Snow for a short advance, but it was just enough for a first down. As Ohio State's offense, Paul, improves on its 41.5% batting average, converting first downs and third down.
Well, the Buckeyes are starting out running the football today and looking as if they're going to try to get the running game going first.
This is Scotty Graham. He pounds ahead to the 34, maybe the 35. David Eaton finally knocked Graham to the turf. An authoritative run by Graham, picks up 9 yards.
Ohio State showing the option play, but this time Greg Fry handing off to Scott Graham. Big hole opened up by Jeff Davidson, number 50. Scotty Graham powering his way for 9 yards. Good first down try for the Buckeyes.
Second down, just a tad over 1, needed for a first down. Graham gets the call, and he stumbles out to the 39. First down yardage. Thomas Humko tripped him up. Scotty Graham did not have a great day rushing last week, but Paul, it was an offensive day reserved for passing the pigskin a week ago up at the Metrodome.
Not the kind of ball game you like to get behind 31 points very often and have to rely on your passing game, but Ohio State did what it had to do to win that game against Minnesota, throwing the football.
So far, Buckeyes keeping it on the ground and away from Northwestern's fine offense. Graham twists ahead for 3. John Broker, a 2-year letterman at tackle, spun the ball carrier to the ground. Second down and at least 7 coming up for Ohio State.
Gain up 3 yards on the play. Ohio State second down and 7 from the 42.
Northwestern defensively giving up 37 points a game, and the Fry-led Ohio State offense has rolled up about 26 a game. Bucks must get to the 49 for a first down. Let's see what happens here. Pass for Graham was deflected. Pretty good pressure applied by Northwestern's defensive front. Ed Sutter, 6'3", 218-pound sophomore, number 54, got a hand on the ball, and that sets up a third down.
Quick hitting pass. Greg Fry going to Jeff Graham, but Ed Sutter, number 54, goes high into the air. Situations like that, it's important to get those hands down of the defenders because that's a 2- or 3-step drop for the passer on that play, Jack, and you've got to get those hands down. So it puts Ohio State in another possession situation.
Passing formation, split backs, straight drop by Fry. Crossing receiver wide open inside the 50 to the 47 of Northwestern. Homko on the hit. John Cooper likes what he sees. The reception was made by number 88, Brian Stabline.
Number 88, Brian Stabline.
This is a timing pass play, split back, straight drop back by Greg Fry. Stabline will allow the other receivers to clear. He will come underneath. He's wide open, makes the necessary yardage for the first down. Is hit pretty good by Homko on the play, but Buckeyes picking up the first downs and moving the offense down the field very well at this point.
Stabline combined with Beatty for 5 catches for 95 yards a week ago. 3 straight first downs for the Bucks, who are on a march. Carlos Snow sprinting into the secondary for about 8 more. At the 39 of Northwestern, Dwight James came up to meet him along with Ed Sutter. James, a free safety. Sutter, an outside linebacker. Tackle Snow. Second down and closer to 3 needed for a first down.
Awfully good running at this point in this drive, Jack. Ohio State picking up 6-7 yards of crack. Francis Pay right there. The Northwestern coach in his 4th year has to be a little bit concerned with the way Ohio State is moving this football at this point.
Ohio State advancing it on the ground against the wind in the opening period. First possession of the game. Scotty Graham stepped over one would-be tackler and hopped for very close to first down yardage. Frevoletti and Sutter upended Graham at the 37. He is within inches of a first down, and a measurement will ensue here. If he is short, Buckeyes will have 3rd and very short for a first down.
This has been a very methodical drive thus far, Jack. Ohio State picking up 3, 4, sometimes 6, 8 yards of crack, but it's been a good job, a drive rather, as the officials point to a first down for the Buckeyes. The kind of drive I think that Coach Cooper wants this team to put on today because it keeps Northwestern's offense off the field. Ohio State moving the ball up the field in a methodical pattern, but it's important once you move the ball up the field like this, when you get it down close, to get the points on the scoreboard.
It is a first down for Ohio State at the 37 of Northwestern. We played 5 minutes first quarter. Snow sweeping left in, plowing to the 31. He's got 6 or 7 more. Sutter on the tackle for Northwestern. Second down and close to 4 coming up for a first down.
Well, Carlos Snow will follow Scott Graham, 35, Carl Coles, 66. A lot of artillery out in front of him, and Carlos barrels and picks up good yardage. Just good hard running and good blocking at the point of attack. Again, Ohio State going in a very workmanlike fashion on this drive.
Second down, a little less than 4. Call it 3. Needed for a first down. Scotty Graham behind right guard, surges to the 25. He's got a first down. Homko piled on Scotty's back, drove him to the turf, but not before Graham behind Davidson and Beatty pounded out a first down. You might note that Jeff Davidson got the starting call today. He's had a sprain in the shoulder the last couple weeks.
Hyperextended knee too, but Jeff's a tough player. Just can't keep him out of there. Wants to be in the lineup.
First and 10 from outside the 25. Snow sweeping right in, breaks a tackle or 2, on his way for a touchdown.
A 25-yard touchdown run by number 25, Carlos Snow.
And the distance covered by Carlos matched the number on his back. A 25-yard dash to the end zone. Buckeyes are on the board first, 6-0.
Again, good blocking at the point of attack, and Carlos Snow taking this quick pitch following good blocking. Here he shows you good strong running as he proves that one arm will not stop a good back in the Big Ten, and Carlos sprints 25 yards on the pay dirt.
O'Mora to try the point. And he drills it. And with 9 minutes, 4 seconds left in the opening period, Ohio State leads Northwestern 7-0 here at Dyke Stadium in Evanston on the campus of Northwestern University. Northwestern's head coach, Francis Pay, is a Man with whom you met up a few times in your pro career, perhaps, Paul.
Well, he was a fine offensive lineman with the Green Bay Packers for quite a few years. Coach Cooper there on the sideline giving some instructions to Pat O'Morrow. Another look at the touchdown run. Good pulling action right there. Carlos Snow finding a good block at the point of attack, breaking a tackle, and then just sprinting on into the end zone. Carl Coles, man springing him with an awfully good block at the point of attack. So the Buckeyes did what they had to do, Jack. They took the ball the entire length of the field, took the time off the clock, but they finished off the job, and that's what your offensive team is supposed to do.
And they did it against the wind in the opening period, turning the tables on the Wildcats, who elected to take the wind rather than receive. And the Buckeyes promptly put 7 points on the board. O'Morrow to kick off. Wildcats feature a trio of people. Ziffel and Eaton on the sides, New in the middle.
Number 20, David Nugent, and also number 46, Herbert Ziffel.
O'Morrow kicking off against the wind, or at least he was about ready to before the wind knocked the ball off the tee. Let's see what Ohio State's strategy is here in the kickoff. Perhaps a short blooper by Pat O'Morrow. Who knows, against this wind today, he might get more distance kicking a dribbler. And he sends this one skyward inside the 30. Caught at the 27 and returned out across the 35 to the 39. So Northwestern did not elect to fair catch it. Clausen made the tackle downfield for the Buckeyes on Mike Golars.
Tackle on the play by number 44, Tony Clausen.
Well, that kickoff backfired a little bit, as Northwestern did not fair catch it. Instead, the Wildcats return it about 11 or 12 yards, just beyond the 38, a first down. And this is Christian rolled down at the 41.
Number 34, Christian, the ball carrier.
Northwestern's workhorse in the offensive backfield, number 34, Bob Christian.
All right, let's take a look at the Northwestern offensive line. Stan Holston, Todd McClish, David Woolard, Brian Tichy, and Darrell Vest. The receivers, Richard Buchanan, Bob Griswold, and Randy McClellan. At quarterback, Tim O'Brien, Bob Christian, the runner who just ran that football, and Steve Rosholt is the fullback.
Christian has rushed for over 100 yards 5 times in 7 games. But O'Brien, a 67% thrower, pitches it upfield for a gain of about 6 to the 47. Griswold, the tight end, on the receiving end. Orlando Craig filling in for Derek Eisman today, made the tackle for Ohio State. Speaking of the Buckeyes defensively, along the line of scrimmage, Ken Coleman, Pat Thomas, and Rich Frimmel. Your linebackers are Tom Lease, Judah Herman, Orlando Craig, and Alonzo Spellman. In the secondary, Vinnie Clark, David Brown, Zach Dumas, and Mark Polini. 3rd down and 2 for the Cats. This is Christian over left guard. He's got the first down. Rolled to the turf at the 49.5 by Rich Frimmel, Ohio State sophomore from North Olmsted. Frimmel, number 90. So Northwestern with 2 runs and a short pass earns a first down. And the pass to Griswold, Paul, is the kind of passing game Francis Pay and the Wildcats feature.
Well, Francis Pay has said that O'Brien has been sort of a surprise at quarterback, but he's done a very fine job. He's right at the top of percentage passing. He moves this offensive club very well.
Little draw play. Christian barreling ahead to the 40 of Ohio State. Mark Polini on the tackle. A delayed handoff to Christian, and he romped for 11 yards and a first down.
Draw play, Christian taking the handoff, doing a little stutter step in the lineup, and then making good yards, breaking a tackle there. Lease, as he's assisted by David Brown and other Buckeyes, but it's a first down for Northwestern.
From the I formation this time, O'Brien elects to throw, heads this one toward the end zone, no good. Richard Buchanan was scampering inside the 5, but with the wind at O'Brien's back, he led the split end just a bit too far.
That pass play was set up very nicely. Northwestern has effectively been running this running attack. They play action fake to Christian right there. O'Brien pulls up, throws the bomb, looking for his best receiver, Buchanan. Buchanan gets entangled with David Brown, but no flag called on the play. It was not a chance. Buchanan is being assisted from the field. That's going to hurt Northwestern.
Buchanan has 4.5 speed in the 40. Christian bounces off a lineman, plows to the 31. 2 yards short of a first down. Mark Bellini helps stands him up. Thomas assisted.
Stopped on the play by number 48, Mark Bellini.
Forward progress to the 32.
Christian, the number 2 rusher in the Big Ten, again on this little delay action, bumps into an offensive lineman right there, Tishy, but he bounces off Tishy, shows surprising strength. Doesn't quite look that big as a back, but it takes a whole host of Buckeyes to slow him up.
The Northwestern running back, Christian, is noted for putting out great effort time and time again, play after play. We saw a dose of it there. Movement along the line of scrimmage. Halts that play before the snap.
It looked like several offensive, defensive, no, it is offense, against Northwestern were moving before the ball was snapped. Could have been a mix-up in cadence between the center, David Woolard, and quarterback O'Brien. So looking at the offensive line, center moves a little bit before the ball is snapped. David Woolard, number 59, started to initiate his movement before he snapped the ball, and that's no, Jack. You can't do that. So the Buckeyes were moving right on movement. They were doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Wildcats did a no. Buckeyes were saying yes. O'Brien to throw on 3rd and 7. It is caught inside the 20 to the 16. Catch is made by Chip Morris. A backup split end. Dumas on the tackle. Chip Morris from Cleveland Heights, Ohio on the catch, Paul.
O'Brien, straight drop back action, looks very good. He got great protection on this play. Look at him looking around, finding Morris. He's almost counting the houses, they say, with that kind of time, and finds Chip Morris, who's crossing over from right to left into the middle of the Buckeye secondary.
That play generated 21 yards. Christian rips to about the 11 or 12 before being thrown down by David Brown and Orlando Craig.
Stopped on the play by number 27, David Brown.
What do you think of O'Brien so far, Paul?
Well, I was impressed with his credentials even before coming into this ball game. I saw a little bit of tape on him last week. He looks like he has quick feet. He has the ability to get outside of contain. Early in the year, Ohio State played against Hicks of Boston College.
Yep.
He hurt them getting outside of the contain. And then Purdue's quarterback Hunter.
O'Brien still has it. He scampers toward the end zone. Touchdown!
We were just talking about getting outside of contain.
Speaking of quick feet, O'Brien slips into the end zone. The 5th-year senior who played his high school football in Indiana makes it 7-6 here.
Well, he shows you those quick feet there after faking to his fullback Rochhold on the play, then faking to throw the ball on the outside. There's absolutely no one out there. He crosses the goal line before he meets any resistance whatsoever. Northwestern on the scoreboard.
Extra point try by Adler is good.
The extra point is good. The score with 4 minutes.
4 minutes, 52 seconds left in the opening period. The Wildcats have knotted the count at 7.
Again, a fake, and then O'Brien getting outside of contain, bootlegging, having the option to run or to throw. He elects to run because there was absolutely no one defending out there for the Buckeyes, getting in for the 6-pointer for Northwestern.
Well, let's take a look back at 100 years of Ohio State football with a flashback question for you. How many outright Big Ten championships have the Buckeyes won? Outright Big Ten championships earned by the Ohio State Buckeyes in these 100 years of football.
I'd have to say an awful lot.
However, that is not the answer we want, Paul.
Well, that's all I'm going to give up at this point.
Snow and Lee back inside the 5 for Ohio State to take the kick from Foreman, who, like O'Morrow earlier, is not having an easy time keeping the football up on the tee. You mentioned, Paul, at the top of the program that at this point in the season, the Ohio State defense can make a difference, and they're not going to do it playing like they did in the last series with the Wildcats.
Well, I think Coach Cooper expected a scoring ball game coming into this one, and so the Ohio State defense is going to have to stand up and rise to the occasion at some point.
And Carlos Snow just lets that one sail on over his head. In fact, that football bounced halfway to Welsh Ryan Arena.
Ohio State, first down and 10.
Well, we expect a crowd here of about 30,000. Dyke Stadium, which has been renovated in the last few years, seats 45,000 or so. And with the sun popping out, we would expect a few more fans to trickle in here today. A good contingent from Ohio on hand to see the Buckeyes in action in Big Ten game number 5. Greg Fry, who had a sensational game last week, dishes to Snow, who stretches out to the 26. Terry Thomas came up from his cornerback position to provide support against the run.
Tackle on the play by number 47, Terry Thomas.
Ohio State head coach John Cooper urging on the defensive core.
Gain up 6 yards on the play, second down and a long.
Well, Coach Cooper very aware of the capabilities of the Northwestern Wildcats, and this is going to be a scoring affair here today.
It sure looks like it. Second down. Call it 4 yards needed for a first down. Bucks must get to the 30. This is Snow again. And he darts to the 31. First down yardage. Homko tackles him.
Stopped on the play by number 60, Thomas Homko.
Carlos Snow did not get a workout from scrimmage running the ball last week. Racked up a lot of all-purpose yards.
5 yards on the play. Ohio State first down and 10 from the 31.
But he showed a lot of versatility in his ability to come out of the backfield, catching some very key passes, and also on the return game last week, too.
You're so right, Paul. First down and 10. Buckeyes must get to the 41 for a first down. Scotty Graham trudging for 2 or 3 yards to the 34.
Graham, the ball carrier.
As an opening was not created along the offensive front. So Graham just piggybacked a couple offensive linemen and forged ahead for 3, second down and 7.
Buckeyes not doing a whole lot throwing the football right now because they're going into that awfully strong wind, and so they're relying on the running game here in the first quarter.
And we've eaten up 12 minutes of the opening stanza. Just 3 minutes to go. Little counter back to the near side. Not much room to run as Matt Witt subdued Carlos Snow right on the 35, and that sets up a third and at least 6 for Ohio State.
Northwestern really not known for their strong defense. Ohio State in a passing situation. It'll be interesting to see if the Wildcats decide to apply pressure by trying to come with some form of a blitz.
Beatty split left. Jeff Graham to the right, out of your picture, to the bottom of the screen. On third down and 6. Straight drop by Fry. Fine catch over the middle by Beatty. He appears to have gotten the first down out at the 43. Greg Beatty, who hung in there last week and made 3 fine catches, is on the receiving end here
Again, a clearing pass which Greg Fry go back into the pocket and then throws underneath. Beatty will come into your screen, catching the ball underneath, makes the catch, gets the necessary yardage for the first down, and that's all that really counts. Pretty difficult right now, Jack, to throw the football down the field 15 to 20 yards or so. Greg Fry electing to go with the high percentage shorter passes, and they're working.
2 minutes left in the opening quarter. Carlos Snow, pitch sweep to the left, probing the corner, gets about 5 or 6 before being ridden to the sideline by Ed Sutter.
Snow, the ball carrier.
Buckeyes a little over a minute and a half away from getting the wind at their back in the second quarter.
Also number 36, Dwight James.
This is the third possession of this game. Each team has moved it extremely well. No punts so far.
Well, the Buckeyes did it in the first period all on the ground. Northwestern did it a combination ground and throwing. It'll be interesting to see when they switch sides how Northwestern will deal with throwing the football into the wind.
Second down. Between 4 and 5, needed for a first down. This is Graham pounding inside the 45 to the 44. He's got a first down.
Number 35, Scotty Graham, the ball carrier.
Scotty Graham hammering over right guard and center.
Tackle on the play by number 20, David Eaton. Also number 33, Matt.
All right, this time straight handoff to Scotty Graham, running inside Carl Coe, spinning out around number 66 to get a block. Scotty Graham fighting off the tacklers, getting tough yardage, stopped on the play by Northwestern's whip.
Under a minute to go, first period. Ohio State 7, Northwestern 7. Dyke Stadium on the campus of Northwestern University here in Evanston, the scene of today's Big Ten encounter. This is Carlos Snow trapped in the backfield and hauled down at the 46. Ed Sutter and Ed Feaster double-teamed Snow as that deep handoff did not fool Northwestern's defense at all.
Ed Sutter, number 54, read this play perfectly. You'll see him come across the line of scrimmage right about there. As he got around Stasiak 79, Sutter almost unassistedly got a little bit of help from other Wildcats, but he really read that play, Jack, perfectly. He saw the pulling offensive lineman from Ohio State. He came right away and didn't wait for things to happen on his side of the line of scrimmage.
That appears to be the final play of the first quarter. Clock winding down to 0, and that is it. So on Snow's loss of 2, the first period comes to a close here at Dyke Stadium in Evanston. Our score, Ohio State 7 and Northwestern 7. We'll return with more Ohio State football in a moment. It's the second quarter of Ohio State football. This is Jack Kramer with Paul Warfield at Dyke Stadium on the campus of Northwestern University. Second down and 12 facing the Buckeyes outside the 45 of Northwestern. Game tied at 7. Counter play, Carlos Snow looking for an avenue. He's got it creased for about 5 or 6 to the 39. At least 5 short of a first down. Matt Witt knocked Carlos down.
Buckeyes running a lot of the counter plays. You've got Stasiak and also Davidson pulling ahead of Carlos Snow. Carlos cut back into a little bit of traffic that time, but picked up at least 6 on the play. Buckeyes now in a third down and possession situation, but they've got the wind to their backs.
Buckeyes have 9 seconds on the play clock. Third down and a long 5 needed for a first down. Northwestern was blitzing. Fry goes down. A blitzing David Eaton shot through from his rover position, number 20, a sophomore.
Well, with Northwestern being down in the league defensively, although Greg Fry stumbles coming out, he probably wouldn't have gotten this pass off at all because Eaton came from his safety position. It looked like Greg Fry stumbled over Jeff Davidson's foot as he started to come back in a drop back position.
Richard Buchanan back deep for the Wildcats. Bowman's kick is away with the wind. At the 9, Buchanan down to one hand, streaks ahead, gets a block. Outstanding return by number 1, Buchanan. Bowman came over to the sideline to get a piece of him.
Well, Buchanan goes down, braces himself with one hand. Some of the Buckeyes let up a little bit, and now he's off and making a great run of it, eluding a couple of tacklers and getting a good return. We just saw this guy a little bit earlier in the first quarter being assisted from the field of play, but he must have got well in a hurry.
That was the old Paul Warfield trick. This is Christian powering outside right end for about 5.
Christian, the ball carrier.
13:23 to go, second quarter. Game tied at 7. Judah Herman made the tackle on Christian.
Also number 21, Zach Dumas.
Christian, a 210-pound junior.
He is a very impressive runner, keeps those legs moving and churning all the time, and picks up 3, 4, 5 yards every time he runs the football.
He's averaging 5 yards per crack this year. Christian again, outside left tackle. He is pushed to the ground. Rich Frimmel, standout defensive effort, just sat on Christian just beyond the 40. And Christian was limited to a yard or 2 on that play. Northwestern faced with 3rd and nearly 4.
1 yard on the play.
The Buckeyes had the ball offensively going into the win. They used the shorter passes in 3rd and possession situation. Let's see what the Wildcats have in store for Ohio State.
O'Brien, straight drop. Reception by Buchanan. He was dragged down at the 46, a yard beyond the first down stake.
Tackle on the play by number 5, Gerald Lewis.
Good catch by Buchanan. Lewis, who was in there for Ohio State on the nickel, made the hit.
Northwestern and O'Brien take a page out of Ohio State's book as they go underneath on the short pass to their leading receiver, Buchanan, who takes that pass and makes a first down. Came into this ball game with 66 receptions.
There's a fumble. Ohio State's got it as Rasholt coughed it up at the 46. We haven't seen an official ruling yet, but boy, a couple white-shirted Buckeyes appeared to be the first 2 players to pounce on the pigskin. Lo and behold, the Cats got it back. And it may have been the ball carrier, Rasholt, who managed to get the football as it squirted away from a couple Bucks. Coach John Cooper looks on in disbelief. How did Northwestern recover the fumble?
Well, could have been a big missed opportunity for Ohio State. They could have come up with that fumble, in Northwestern territory.
12 minutes left, second quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. This is Christian driving to the 45, inside it, close to a first down. Pat Thomas and Vincent Clark made the tackle of Christian. I like the way this young man cuts, Paul. He cuts right on a dime.
Runs to daylight very well. They've been running a lot of misdirection plays. This is another one. A couple of linemen pulling out ahead of Christian, but he gets out around the corner, finds the daylight, turns upfield with a lot of authority, and runs very hard. He is not a small back, 210 pounds, and so he does have some power.
3rd and inches. Christian has the first down. Christian drove ahead for 2 yards to the 42 or 3 of Ohio State. Game tied at 7. Northwestern approaching the threatening zone. Ken Coleman made the last tackle.
Gain of 2 yards on the
Christian
play.
coming to the sideline for this play as the Wildcats feature Three receivers, a lone setback. O'Brien to pitch it on first down. He is drilled from behind, but Streko Zizakovic. Zizakovic with his 4th sack of the season as he blindsided O'Brien on this play.
By number 96, Streko Zizakovic.
From the right side of the left side of your screen, Zizakovic just completely beats his man, Todd McClish, number 65, and makes a key sack for Ohio State. Zizakovic doing a great job. That's his 4th quarterback sack of the season, coming into the ball game here with 3. Streko couldn't have made it at a better time.
Impact play with the defense. Here's where Ohio State's defense must sustain play and keep Northwestern from a big gainer. Christian has stood up and rolled down at the 44.
The ball is carried by number 34.
Orlando Craig resisted the approach by the Northwestern runner, and that sets up a 3rd and 11.
This is a draw play, but Rolando Craig just steps up and fills that hole very nicely. He's not fooled on it one iota, and puts his helmet right there on the ball. Nice stop, forcing Northwestern into this 3rd and possession situation.
2 superb plays in a row by the Buckeye defense. Let's see if we can get a 3rd one here. Here comes the blitz. O'Brien throwing. It is out of bounds at the 25. Miscommunication there between O'Brien and his receivers. But he was under duress as the Buckeyes were coming strong. Vincent Clark on the coverage.
On the coverage for Ohio State, number 7.
Well, he was looking for Lester Carney, who is a freshman wide receiver. It seemed as if it was miscommunication between the two.
Jeff Graham back inside his 15 to take the punt from Giroux. Low snap, he gets it away. Flags are down. It hits short of Graham and kicks inside the 15 to the 14, where the Wildcats down it. Kurt Ziffel touched it down, but there was a penalty marker.
Perhaps could have been an Ohio State player who was in the neutral zone, Jack, and it could be a 5-yard penalty against the Buckeyes. But we'll have to wait and see what the officials say. It's against Northwestern, and offsides against Ohio State, so it's canceling penalties.
So we'll re-kick with 9:28 left in the 2nd quarter. Game tied at 7. And Northwestern will re-punt against the wind. Giroux, the punter, did all of the punting last week for Northwestern. First time this year that's happened. He had been sharing duties punting the football with Sutter.
Jeff Graham is lined up at about 20 yards, just to show you how strong that wind is.
It's a line drive kick in front of Graham, and it's touched at the 23 or 4 by Northwestern. So the Buckeyes come out of that situation 9 yards for the better, Paul.
Well, they certainly do, and that kind of wind certainly doesn't help a punter's average.
No, it doesn't.
But Jeff Graham was lined up about 20 yards downfield from the line of scrimmage, and the punt went about 15.
And it was still short of it. 7-7 deadlock, 9:21 to go until halftime. Graham and Snow line up behind Fry. Carlos Snow reads the defense, cracks out to the 35. Nearly 10 yards on the play for Carlos. He may have gotten a first down as he saw the opening create itself. And Carlos shot through full steam ahead, a 10-yard scamper, first down.
And you got awfully good blocking up front from Carl Coles, and also Mike Curry, who is in the ball game right now, pulled out on that play and threw a nice block to spring Carlos.
First and 10 from the 35. One receiver split right, one left. Stabline flank 7 yards left. Scotty Graham gets the nod. And a stubborn effort by Scotty as he charges ahead for 4 on the play before being thrown back by a host of purple-shirted Wildcats in the person of David Sanderson and Thomas Homko. Buckeyes have the wind at their backs.
4 yards on the play.
Northwestern
Second down and 6 from the 39.
is against the wind in this quarter.
Buckeyes may really have them set up for a deep ball right now. A little play action.
2nd and 6. Let's see what develops. Split backs. Fry. Plenty of time. Palmer in the flat. Puts his head down. Gets to about the 46. Let's see where forward progress is marked.
Pass is complete to number 85.
Greg Gill nudged Palmer to the boundary, but it's another Ohio State first down.
Well, that time Northwestern went double coverage on Jeff Graham down on the left side and allowed Palmer to come wide open in the left flat. Wildcats converge on Palmer to knock him out of bounds, but that play happened because Northwestern decided that they were going to take Jeff Graham out of the play.
Jim Palmer's emerged as a fine receiver for the Buckeyes. He's now got 16 catches on the campaign and didn't start the year as the #1 tight end. Fry out in the right flat. Graham holds on for 10 yards. Very close coverage by Greg Gill. Boy, if Gill had another step advantage on Graham, he might have picked it off.
All right. Greg Fry a little bit late on this throw, and as he's a little bit late on this throw, it almost gives Gill a chance to swipe it at that point. Miraculous catch by Jeff Graham on the play. Good block thrown on the play by Carlos Snow to allow Greg Fry time enough to throw that football, but I think Greg Fry needed to release it a little bit earlier. That's a long throw over there to the sideline.
I would imagine Greg wiped his brow after that pass completion, Paul. Too close for comfort, I'll tell you. 1st and 10, 44-yard line. Snow, pitch sweep to the right. Dances down the sideline for about 4 or 5. Greg Gill again covered the play for Northwestern. Clock stops at 7:34, 2nd quarter, and a late flag was thrown well downfield in the Northwestern secondary. Perhaps some fireworks developed between a Buckeye receiver and a Northwestern defensive back as Francis Pay looks on. His Wildcats tied the Buckeyes last year in the Big Ten standings. Uh-oh. Yeah, compromise call again. It goes both ways. Personal foul. And it was a dead ball foul after the conclusion of the play.
Northwestern and Ohio State
So
both received a
the play
personal foul
stands.
penalty.
No penalty yardage assessed.
Little something going on between David Eaton, safety in Northwestern secondary, and Greg Beatty of Ohio State.
2nd down and 5. Graham in motion to the wide side. Carlos Snow puts his head down.
Number 25.
And he was labeled just outside the 35 by Matt Witt.
On the tackle for Northwestern, number
3rd
33,
and
Matt Witt.
2 coming
Also,
for Ohio State.
Mike Fowler.
Jack, this drive is not unlike the opening drive of the Buckeyes, taking a lot of time off the clock, a little bit methodical, but making the first downs here and there. And the Buckeyes come up in another situation where it's 3rd and relatively short yardage for the first down.
3rd and a little less than 3, a little more than 2 needed for a first down. Bucks must get inside the 34. This is Snow looking for an avenue. He could not find one. His progress was impeded at the line of scrimmage. He staggered for a gain of 1.5 yards. A yard short. Homko upended him. 4th down for John Cooper's Buckeyes inside the 35.
Well, it looked like Carlos just might have missed a read a little bit, Jack. He went inside. Had he darted outside, I think he would have had clear sailing. So it's going to force the Buckeyes to come in with a 4th and short yardage, 4th and 1. Timeout on the field. They're going to go on the sidelines and talk about it.
And let's talk about the answer to our flashback question, which was how many outright Big Ten championships have the Buckeyes won?
Northwestern students.
15.
It's time to win
15 outright Big Ten championships have been won by the football Buckeyes in 100 years.
One of those championships was in 1961.
That's right. That's right. And
27. a pink 27.
I think you were on that team, weren't you, Paul?
That's right. That's why I'm bringing up the year.
Just laying your pizza.
Yeah, that was a fine season in 1961. And you did a little receiving and a little running both, didn't you?
A little bit of both, yes. Bob Ferguson did a lot more than any of us did in those days.
I was going to ask you how little.
As a matter of fact, Northwestern cheering section in the band, but getting back to that 61 season, Bob Ferguson rushed the football 35 times in the first game of the year that year.
Oh, he was the bell cow of that offense. Buckeyes offense here faces a 4th down and 1. I formation. Fry still has it, dragged down. I think he's got the first down at the 33.5. Matt Witt dropped him as Fry faked the dive to Graham, stuck the ball in his tummy, took it away. And then Fry angled outside right tackle where he was tripped up by John Broker. In fact, it's Broker who's shaken up. The chain is coming in. Very critical measurement here. And it is a first down by about the length of the football. Buckeyes get it, but not by much. John Broker, one of the most experienced people on this Northwestern defense, and he, at least temporarily, will sit on the sidelines. Ohio State offense now with a first down
Northwestern 33.
outside the 33 of the Wildcats. Sun shining brightly here at Dyke Stadium. Temperature warming up to the mid-40s. Carlos Snow breaks tackles before being nailed at the 26. Strong run by Carlos Snow. It traveled about to 8 yards, but en route, he broke at least 2, maybe 3 tackles, and then was flattened and is down on the turf on his back.
Very fine blocking at the point of attack. Carlos Snow will cut off a block by Scott Graham right there. Gets upfield, fights off a tackler, but then, wow, he is really hit by Greg Gill on the play. Carlos down on the carpet right now, being attended to by Ohio State trainers. Perhaps he was just shaken up with a blow to the abdomen and winded. He's being attended to right now.
In the second quarter, Rice.
Now James Bryant will no doubt come on for the Buckeyes.
In the third quarter, Alabama.
That was a jarring tackle by Northwestern.
0. In the first quarter,
and as you noted, Paul,
7.
more than likely, Snow just got the wind knocked out of him.
In the third quarter.
Well, hopefully that's the case.
Certainly does not appear to be an injury to the knee.
In the first quarter, Nebraska.
And I would think that Carlos,
Colorado,
perhaps 0. in a few minutes, could resume play as he sits up at the 26-yard line.
In the first quarter, Oregon 0, Brigham Young 0.
Bob Christian for Northwestern has earned the nickname Workhorse for the Wildcats. Carlos Snow has rightfully earned that same nickname here today. He has been marching up and down the field all afternoon long in these first 2 periods.
Well, he has done it thus far in this ball game. Last week we go back to the Minnesota game, and of course he's a workhorse, and Minnesota star player Broker right there, who is sitting on their bench and had to be assisted from the field to play a couple of plays earlier.
James Bryant dots the I. Carlos Snow will rest for at least a play or 2 here. Graham behind Fry. Second down and a couple needed for a first down. Scotty Graham shredded one man, got to the 20. Graham slipped a tackle. Homko finally finished him off, but it's a first down at the 20-yard stripe for Ohio State.
Gain of 5 yards on the play.
We're down to 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Game tied at 7. split backs this time. Graham and Bryant. Draw play, Scotty Graham outside right tackle, sprinting inside the 5. Touchdown!
A 20-yard touchdown run by number 35, Scotty Graham.
Very crisp blocking at the point of attack, and the Buckeye fans love it as Scotty Graham marches to pay dirt.
Scotty Graham takes his draw play, gets a good block from James Bryant, runs on the outside of Joe Stasniak, and then does it all on his own from that point as he splits tackles and high steps it in the end zone. Nice run by Scotty.
Number 6, Pat O'Mara to attempt the extra point.
O'Mara to add the point as he attempts to lift Ohio State's lead to 14-7. It's on the way, and it is good. 5 minutes, 5 seconds remain. Second quarter. Ohio State 14, Northwestern 7. As Scotty Graham finished off that drive with an excellent run to the end zone.
Ohio State 14, Northwestern 7.
A lot of Buckeye fans on hand here at Dyke Stadium today. Our flashback of 100 years of Ohio State football takes us to 1961. The year Paul Warfield mentioned several minutes ago. One of many great seasons since 1890. Bob Ferguson, number 46. In the final game of the year against Michigan, rushed for 4 touchdowns. He romps in there for one of them.
One of his 35 rushes.
A little razzle-dazzle by the Buckeyes. Paul Warfield, number 42, on the end around, races down the far sideline, jitterbugging, zigzagging all the way to the end zone. Buckeyes went on to thump Michigan 50-20. And Bob Klein, an end, got into the act as he takes this short pass out of the air, beats the Wolverine defenders, and like Warfield, he too romps all the way to pay dirt. As Klein and Ferguson and Warfield and company posted an 8-0-1 season in 1961. Won the Big Ten. Buckeyes, with the wind at their backs, elect to kick it off deep, and it's run back by Pat New to the 25. Jay Cook on the tackle.
Jack, I think an interesting thing, we'll have to see how patient Northwestern's offense will be in this series. The Buckeyes had the football for such a long time, and they did what they were supposed to do in finishing off that drive. There seems to be an urgency when the other team gets the football to try to score fast.
5 minutes even to go, second quarter. Pitch sweep to the left. Good penetration by the Buckeyes, but Christian simply outraced him to the 33, advancing it for 7 or 8.
Stopped on the play by number 27, David Brown.
Buckeyes, Paul, came close to trapping Christian behind the line as a Buckeye player is down at the 32.
Gain of 8 yards on the play, second down and 2.
The point that I was trying to make in terms of one team controlling the ball for so long, which was Ohio State, in the drive, and then finishing it off with a score. By the time Northwestern's gotten this ball with a little less than 5 minutes left on the clock, there may be a sense of urgency on the part of the Wildcats to try to do something fast. And if they do that in that situation, more than likely they'll make a mistake and error in throwing the football.
Ohio State head coach John Cooper looking on anxiously at Orlando Craig, who was shaken up on the last play. Orlando had arthroscopic knee surgery done in the late summer. But I don't believe it's knee, or it's Orlando's knee. He, like Carlos Snow several plays ago, just simply got the wind knocked out of him. Second down and a couple needed for Northwestern here on this play.
34-yard line.
Rusholt and Christian behind the quarterback O'Brien, who sends Buchanan in motion. This is Christian behind the center. And in workmanlike fashion, Christian found a leak in that Buckeye defensive front wall and sneaked through it for about 4 or 5 yards out to the 38. Steve Tovar, the freshman linebacker for Ohio State, finished off the ball carrier. 1st and 10 for the Cats.
Gain of 4 yards on the play. Wildcat 1st and 10 from the 38.
Pitch sweep to the right. This is Christian cutting upfield behind the block.
Ball carried by number 34.
And he crawled to the 40, gained only a couple yards. 2nd and 8 coming.
Tackle on the play by number 21, Zach Dumas.
That's good to see Derek Foster back for Ohio State,
Northwestern 2nd and 8.
as John Cooper has inserted him in the defense. Foster, number 94, has entered for the Bucks. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Counter play to the left. Christian manages 4 yards. Buckeyes had it diagnosed pretty well. Steve Tovar was waiting on the ball carrier. As Broker, the big defensive lineman for the Wildcats, John Broker, heads off to the locker room as his first half has been finished early. He was shaken up in that 2nd quarter. Buckeye defense trying to stiffen, force a punt on 3rd down and 4. It's a double reverse. Buchanan racing around left in, broke 1 tackle, but is rolled down at the 46. Jay Cook was waiting on him. Pat Thomas was in pursuit. And Cook dropped Buchanan in his tracks short of a 1st down.
Reverse, in which Christian hands the ball off to Buchanan. And a great open field tackle right there by Jay Cook. And it doesn't come any better than that. The Buckeye defense do what they're supposed to do, hold in this situation. Ohio State will get another chance before halftime to put more points on the scoreboard.
Graham at his 25 to take the punt. Jurua hits a low bounder inside the 30 to the 26-24. And the Buckeyes will start from that spot nearer the 23. 1st and 10, wind at their backs. 2 timeouts remaining, 2:21 on the clock. You're so right, Paul. The tackle a moment ago by Jay Cook prevented a 1st down. Buchanan was within a couple steps of reaching the 1st down stake, and Cook saved the day.
Well, Buchanan made a nice, sharp cutback move, but Jay Cook right out there in a broken field, one of the toughest tackles to make in football, he certainly wouldn't be denied and made a fine stop.
Let's see what the Buckeyes have up their sleeve from the 23 of Ohio State. 1st and 10. Play action. Fry still has it. Open receiver. Beatty. As Beatty skipped to the 37. A gain on the play of about 14 yards. David Eaton knocked Beatty to the sideline.
Nice action on this play. Faking a counter to Bryant. Greg Fry losing balance, but standing up and throwing the football very sharply. Beatty catching the ball very confidently in the last couple of games, taking it, snaring it right in his hands, and then staying close to the sidelines, going out of bounds so the Buckeyes don't have to expend a timeout on the play.
1st and 10, Ohio State, 37-yard line of the Buckeyes. I formation. This is James Bryant, romping to daylight. Bryant on the loose. Bryant may go. Touchdown, Buckeyes. A 63-yard race to the end zone, but James Bryant was so happy about that romp to pay dirt. He ran 20 yards beyond the back line of the end zone. Beautiful dash for a touchdown by Bryant, 63-yarder.
Well, this play breaks right away. Good block by Coles right at the point of attack. Scott Graham. That's Bobby Olive downfield and got a great block. And Stabline got a great block. So a lot of Buckeyes blocking on the play, and James Bryant doing some on his own and sprinting into the end zone.
Here's the PAT by O'Moro. And he's got it. And the Buckeyes lead is now 21-7. 2 minutes, 4 seconds left in the second quarter. Buckeyes needed possession time of less than a half minute to reach the end zone.
Well, the Buckeyes doing exactly what they have to do. Carl Cole's right there pulling out, getting a fine block right there at the point of attack. That's one. Scott Graham, another fine block. That's two. That's Bobby Olive, three. And the fourth one coming up, Brian Stabline getting into the act too. So 4 key blocks at the point of attack for that 63-yard run by James Bryant. Good blocking and good running and doing what they have to do, getting another chance at scoring in the second quarter and making it happen.
We might have gotten a break on the one block. The Northwestern player turned a little bit. Olive got a piece of him from behind. Apparently, in the official's judgment, it was a clean play by Olive because the Northwestern man was turning.
Was turning on the play.
So the Buckeyes have a 2-touchdown lead over the Wildcats. James Bryant with a fine effort, going the route from 63 yards away.
Another score in the fourth quarter. Boston
Bryant's first touchdown rushing of the season. And boy, that'll boost the confidence in a hurry, won't it, Paul?
Well, it's good to see James Bryant running well. He's always been a fine player here for Ohio State in his 4 years, coming in at critical times and being able to keep the level of play at a very high one.
And Amaro socks this one to New right at the goal line, a half a yard deep. Here he comes through the wedge, wrapped up by Vincent Clark at the 16. Vincent Clark, as did Jay Cook a moment ago, put on a clinic on that play. Fine open field tackle.
Well, the Wildcats are going to have to be careful as New takes this ball deep, starts up to the middle part of the wedge, and the wedge is broken right at that point, forcing him out. But as you said, a very fine open field tackle by Vince Clark. And the point that I was going to make, the Wildcats better be careful down deep in their own territory. Ohio State has enough time to get the ball back again for another score.
A minute 59 to go. Northwestern moving against the wind. Christian runs it on the ground. And with a burst, fires out to the 24, 2 yards shy of the first down marker. Orlando Craig, who's back into action for Ohio State, makes the tackle. Northwestern not electing to use a timeout. Clock continuing to tick down to near the minute 30 mark. This is Christian. And he romps to the 35, a first down. Mark Pelini and Vincent Clark came up to greet him, but not before a sizable march by Christian and first down yardage.
Well, Northwestern going to their top back, Christian, and he picks his way behind good blocking, running hard as he's done all day long.
O'Brien throws, it's intercepted! Picked off on the deflection at the 46. Orlando Craig snares it. Buckeyes are in business in Northwestern's end of the field.
Ohio State interception on the play.
First interception of the season for Orlando Craig. Of course, just coming back to playing for the Buckeyes a couple of weeks ago. Couldn't have come out a better time. And Northwestern makes the mistake that we thought they could make in this situation. The Buckeyes have excellent field position. They need at least a 3-pointer, but it looks like it would be in their best interest if they got a 7-pointer or 6-pointer.
A minute 15 to go in the half. First and 10, Ohio State. Line of scrimmage, the 46 of the Wildcats. Play action. Fry for Graham. Catch is made at the 36. Nope, out of bounds. Graham tucked it away, but apparently did not have a foot in. He was being jostled on the sideline. That was a close call.
Well, I think that Greg Fry may have let Jeff Graham drift a little bit too far to the sideline. Greg Fry around now. He should be pulling up, ready to throw right now. See, he's taking an extra step. Graham drifting on the play, going high to catch the ball. Neither foot is in bounds on the play. I believe that Greg Fry could have released the football a little bit earlier, and that would have been a completion.
Yeah, I think you're right, Paul. If he pulls the trigger just a hair sooner, Graham catches that ball in bounds. Second and 10. Play action. Fry retreating, lofting it for a wide open Bryant. Bryant. He's got it! Bryant, touchdown! The Buckeye boosters go bananas as James Bryant hauls in the aerial from Fry.
46-yard.
The scarlet-shirted Buckeye fans love it. 2 touchdowns late in the second quarter, but James Bryant, a 46-yard strike from Fry.
A little bit of razzle-dazzle, fake counter play to Bryant, and Bryant will slip down the sidelines. Fry looks right, then he stops, pulls back, throws left, transcontinental. There's Bryant wide open, finger tip catch. He almost loses balance, and Gill brings him down, but by that time, Bryant has crossed the end zone marker into the end zone. Buckeyes score very quickly and effectively 2 times here inside of 5 minutes.
Here's the boot by O'Morrow. And the placement by Pat is up and through. And the Buckeyes lead is now 28-7 with 59 seconds left in the second quarter of action.
Northwestern 7.
A large throng of Ohio State fans on hand here at Dike Stadium today, and they're witnessing an Ohio State romp at the moment.
A lot of action on the scoring pass. The fake to Bryant. And Fry being traced right there, but he throws back across the grain. This sometimes is considered a dangerous pass, but this time it's wide open to James Bryant. Gill makes the tackle, but Bryant gets into the end zone, and Ohio State gets the points.
The regular season opener is November 24th.
There you get a view across the field of the Ohio State Rooters who have made the trip to Evanston, and I bet half the crowd here at Dike Stadium today is comprised of fans from the Buckeye State.
A lot of scarlet up there in those stands today, Jack.
Well, the Buckeyes, you may recall, saluted those 8,000 or 10,000 fans who followed them to the Metrodome a week ago. They went to the Metrodome bleachers and saluted them following the win last week. Run back by Northwestern is out across the 15. Ziffel on the return. Jay Cook
Number 82, Jay Cook.
bounced the return man out of bounds right on the 20. Atamora receiving some instructions from John Cooper.
20-yard line. Another update.
Buckeyes have had a few tricks up their sleeve this year on kickoffs, haven't they, Paul?
Well, they've tried that short kick.
They haven't been routine, that's for sure. O'Brien to throw with 50 seconds left in the half. The tight end is available. A 10-yard gain, a first down to the 30. Clock will stop as the chain is advanced. 43 seconds left. Craig and Dumas tackle Griswold, the tight end.
Number 21, Zach Dumas. Gain of 10 yards.
Ball is spotted for play.
From the 30.
And the clock is set in motion. It's running down to 40 seconds. O'Brien to throw again. Shoots this one in the left flat for Christian, and he's got 12 more out to the 42. Orlando Craig spun him down. 35 seconds left. Clock stopped momentarily. Keep in mind, Northwestern advancing against the wind late in this second quarter. O'Brien looking right. An out pattern to Buchanan at the 50. Got it. Short of a first down at the 49. Vincent Clark on the coverage. Clock stops at 27.
Northwestern doing a very impressive job of moving the football here in this in the final seconds here of the second quarter.
Northwestern has all 3 timeouts remaining. Second and a little more than 2. Little draw play. Christian driving to the 42 of Ohio State. A first down. Clock stops at 21. Craig again on the tackle. And Northwestern has asked for a timeout. 21 seconds to go.
Timeout, Northwestern.
It's important for the Buckeyes to keep them off the scoreboard in this situation, Jack. And the defense is going to have to play very tough and very alert here. I don't think Northwestern, in just 21 seconds, I don't think now, can throw this football effectively and get it into the end zone. They certainly will not be able to kick a field goal. They'll have to be inside of the 20-yard line to at least try a field goal because they're going into the teeth of the wind in this direction.
At the Auditorium Theater at 50.
You were watching
in Chicago.
Francis Pay's field goal kicker and also Pat Amoro closely before the game as they were getting off some practice kicks against that wind, and it looked like what?
Kicking into a brick wall. We've seen the punting in this quarter, and those punts for Northwestern have not traveled very far at all. So they're going to have to try to get the ball into the end zone, and I don't think they can do it with a deep pass. They don't have very much time to work with, although they have both timeouts. But they have 2 more timeouts.
So perhaps, 4 plays max left for the Wildcats? 21 seconds to go.
Maximum 3 plays if they're throwing the football. 3 or 4, yes.
2 receivers have been split left. One of them is Buchanan. Buckeyes nearly with a sack. O'Brien on the loose, trying to get out of bounds. He does, right at the first down marker. Zach Dumas was in hot pursuit of the Northwestern quarterback. That play, 8 up 10 seconds. Alonzo Spellman also in the chase of O'Brien.
That play took up a little bit more time than Northwestern would have liked to have expended for what they got out of it.
Well, a measurement is necessitated, and it is a first down for Northwestern. Of course,
a Wildcat first down.
That is a little consequence at the moment
from the Ohio State
because what Northwestern wants are points.
But theoretically, Jack, they can throw a pass, a 15-yard pass in this area, stop the clock, and they'll get a shot at a field goal.
Yeah, you're right. They sure would. Should they do that, they might elect to go to the end zone in the next play. O'Brien sprint out right, gets rid of it. Open receiver down to the 12-yard line. There is a penalty marker down way back in the offensive backfield. Perhaps a personal foul against Ohio State. McClellan, number 7, made a good catch and run over the middle. Zach Dumas tackled him inside the 15. Buckeye defense giving up big chunks of yardage in the final minute of this quarter. Spellman may have been guilty of the infraction for the Buckeyes. Alonzo may have hit O'Brien long after he delivered the football. It is a personal foul against Ohio State. Of course, the play gained more yardage than the penalty would have. But it's being judged a dead ball foul. And yardage is being tacked on at the end of the play. First down, Wildcats at the 6. Timeout has been called by Northwestern. 3 seconds to go. This is a very important play, Paul.
Well, I think they have no alternative but to kick it, Jack. They get 3 points out of this, and they're right back in the ballgame. Ohio State defensive unit on the far sideline discussing this situation with Coach John Cooper, but Northwestern has moved the ball the entire length of the field. They've gone into the wind, and they've done it very well. And if they get this 3-pointer, they're still in this ball game.
Hey, I don't think Coach John Cooper's happy at all about the Buckeyes' performance on defense here at the end of this half. Gave
up too much time, or too much ground, rather. Northwestern only used 1 timeout out of their allotted number going downfield.
And they're just outside the 6. And let's see if the field goal team has come on or if it is O'Brien and company. And it looks like the Wildcats will go from scrimmage and try to punch it into the end zone.
Well, this is a surprise, but Francis Pay is the coach at Northwestern, and it looks like they're going to, well, Ohio State has called a timeout this time. So the Buckeyes want to talk it over again now that they've seen the offensive alignment that Northwestern is not going for the three-pointer, but going for it all.
Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Be sure to watch the Francis Pay Show on Sports
Well, do you
Channel.
throw everything, including the kitchen sink, at the Northwestern quarterback here, or is that too risky? Do you blitz, do you come strong, or do you lay back?
Well, at this point, I don't think that you lay back on him. If you do, then you make sure you better contain him, because this guy has great escape skills back in the pocket.
Who knows, the quarterback draw might be the call here.
Well, we've seen that play once earlier this year.
3 seconds left in this half. Buckeye defense readies itself for the final play from scrimmage in this half, barring a penalty, of course.
Northwestern first and goal, 6-yard line.
3 seconds to go, 28-7 Ohio State. Late in the second quarter, final play of this half. Northwestern going for the end zone. Movement along the line of scrimmage. The play is halted. It appeared as though a Buckeye was in the neutral zone. Let's see if they were drawn off. Yes, it's against the Cats. It'll cost Northwestern 5.
Well, let's see what they do now. Are they still going to go for the 6-pointer, or are they going to elect to go for the 3-pointer?
Yeah, that penalty
Northwestern
may
5 yards for illegal procedure.
cause Coach Francis Pay to change his plans a little bit.
In for Northwestern, number 6.
All right, Northwestern, as you see, the left guard right there moves slightly. Brian Tichy of Northwestern. And that's a legal procedure. Now the Wildcats will go for the 3-pointer instead of the 6-pointer.
Ira Adler is on. He is 9 for 11 in field goals this year, and he missed it. He blew it to the left. He sailed it low and wide. No good. And the half comes to a close. Zach Dumas perhaps got a piece of the football as he put a lot of pressure on the field goal kicker Adler, who missed it to the left. So our first half here at Dyke Stadium has come to a close. It's halftime. The Buckeyes lead the Wildcats 28-7. We'll return with more Ohio State football in a moment.
Business. We know it's competitive, complex, changing all the time. At The Ohio State University, we are preparing young men and women to face the short and long-term challenges today's dynamic business world presents. We do it through teaching, research, and actual work experience. The College of Business has over 3,000 undergraduate and 1,000 graduate students, and the graduate school enrollment is growing each year. We're also helping alumni and other executives keep abreast of the latest developments in their profession. Ohio State's College of Business features nationally acclaimed accounting and transportation and logistics programs. Our 2-year part-time MBA program allows working adults to attend classes at night or on weekends. We have 130 distinguished faculty members, several of whom are editors of prestigious academic journals, such as the Journal of Finance. We have established over 300 internship programs, which put our students in touch with business professionals, including many of our highly successful alumni. Using the best human resources and your generous gifts, we are making the College of Business more responsive to the needs of the demanding world marketplace. We are giving our students the best possible education for today and the 21st century. The Ohio State University College of Business, a distinguished past, a dynamic future.
It's the second half of Ohio State football. This is Jack Kramer with Paul Warfield at Dyke Stadium in Evanston, Illinois, on the campus of Northwestern University. Buckeyes lead as we start the third quarter, 28-7. First half was all Buckeyes, Paul, on the ground and on the clock.
Well, the Buckeyes lead rushing yardage 221 yards to 112 for Northwestern. Total yardage offense, Buckeyes 316, Northwestern 196, but time of possession, 17 minutes for Ohio State and just 12 minutes, 51 seconds for the Wildcats.
Carlos Snow had 100 yards in that first half. Christian for Northwestern had in excess of 90. As Foreman's kickoff goes 8 yards deep in the end zone, Olive was back along with Dante Lee, and it was Lee who caught Foreman's kick at the back edge of the end zone. Bucks will start 1st and 10 from the 20, and will be moving from north to south against the wind in the 3rd quarter.
Ohio State.
And the Wildcats have got to keep Ohio State off the scoreboard on this drive, then get the ball back, and with the wind at their backs, rack up some points in an attempt to get back in this game, which Ohio State leads by 21 points. Dante Lee breaks a tackle, spins to the 21 or 2, and then a host of purple-shirted Wildcats throw him back. Ed Sutter led the wave of purple. 2nd and 9 coming.
Terry Thomas. Also in on the tackle, number 54, Ed Sutter.
Dante Lee, who goes up against this Northwestern defense now,
1 yard gain on the play.
had 93 yards on the ground. What, a couple weeks ago he put on a dazzling show late in the game, was it, Paul?
That's right. Coach Cooper says he's going to get more playing time and is showing the confidence in the freshman, starting him in the opening minutes of the 3rd period here.
Dante Lee again, and he hot-stepped it for about 4 to the 24. 3rd and 6. Thomas Homko from his inside linebacking spot put the clamps on Dante Lee, who played his high school football at Meadowdale and Dayton. And the Buckeyes are confronted with a possession down. 3rd down, at least 6. A minute into the 3rd period. Carlos Snow, standing on the sideline, is not in for this 3rd down play, which features split backs. Receivers wide left and right. Northwestern doing a lot of stunning. It's a screen pass to Dante Lee. He's got a 1st down, holds onto the ball, gets to the 32. An 8-yard pass and run as Fry and Lee link up. Mike Lau on the tackle of Dante.
Greg Fry, straight drop back action, will throw underneath coverage again, allowing the defenders to come in, dropping the ball to Dante Lee, and Dante Lee turning upfield and getting the 1st down. Barely getting the 1st down for Ohio State, but knowing exactly what he had to get for the necessary yardage, and got it.
Dante, 5'10", 175-pound freshman. He is split along with Scotty Graham on 1st and 10. Scotty Graham outside Lee's block, inside the block of Jeff Graham. And he rambled for 7. David Eaton came up to plant a smacker on the ball carrier. 2nd and 3 for Ohio State. The 1st down, the play before, was a big one. Otherwise, the Buckeyes would have had to give up the football in the first couple minutes of the 3rd period. Instead, clock continues to run. Buckeyes retain possession, short of their own 40, needing 3 for a 1st down. Dante Lee again is stopped cold at the 41.5. I think he's shy of a 1st down. Lau and Homko pinched him. 3rd and 1 coming. Ohio State trying to turn the corner on Northwestern this half. It looks like, Paul, that the Wildcats defensively are pursuing a little harder. Maybe they've made some adjustments defensively.
Well, they're giving up the yardage very grudgingly. However, Ohio State still pounding away at that smaller Northwestern defensive line and making key 3rd and 4th down yardage situations.
2 tight ends for Dante Lee, who's tripped up after scurrying for about 3 and a 1st down to the 43. Matt Witt knifed in to knock the pins out from under Dante Lee, but it's a 1st down for Ohio State. 11:45 left in the 3rd quarter. Buckeyes lead it 28-7. Turning the Wildcats back late in the 2nd quarter. Northwestern got it down to the 6-yard line, and after a penalty, missed a field goal. 1st and 10 for the Bucks. Scotty Graham behind Davidson's block, wedges out about 7.
Number 35,
Matt Witt put the hit on Scotty Graham as he cut right off the back of Jeff Davidson, who provided some interference and opened up the hole for Graham, setting up a second and a little more than 3.
Second down and 3 from midfield.
Buckeyes have chewed up more than 4 minutes of the third quarter. 2 receivers left. Draw play. Graham pounds for 2 yards short of a first down. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Number 35, Scotty Graham, the ball carrier.
Paul, it seems like the longer this season goes on, the more Ohio State's interior offensive front line dominates.
Well, it's the strength of this offensive team. Very experienced offensive line, big and strong. They have the capability to block any defensive line in the country, for that matter. And Coach Cooper and his staff simply going to the strength of this offense and, of course, utilizing the pass when they have to.
Dan Beatty, the center, the only junior starter along the line of scrimmage. The rest are seniors. Little reverse. Jeff Graham, he's got a wall of blockers. He rips inside the 30 to the 26. Buckeyes set that play up beautifully. Dwight James hustled over to make the tackle. Tim Moxley was out in front of Jeff Graham.
Well, the Buckeyes have been pounding away, and they come with a nice little counter punch right here. A little deceptive, end around, reverse to Jeff Graham, who gets a good block from Moxley right there and hops over that block and dives for extra yardage.
Buckeyes heading into the south end of the stadium, looking at the sunshine glaring over the southwest corner of Dyke Stadium. Dante Lee hopped over one would-be tackler and darted down to about the 19. Homko tripped him up, but a good first down dash by Lee of at least 6, closer to 7 perhaps.
Dante Lee, very much the same kind of runner. Carlos Snow, very quick off the mark and can get into the hole very fast and can break it.
Lee at tailback, Graham at full. Second down, long 3 needed for a first down. Scotty Graham gets the nod, and he churned for about 2 or 2.5 short of the first down marker. Buckeyes again will have a third down and very short. Ron Maulding, a backup defensive end, in there on the stop as Northwestern coach Francis Pay looks on. Yet to get a win this year. Wildcats 1-2 in conference play last year. Third down, less than 1 for Ohio State. 2 tight ends. Dante Lee looking for a crease. He stacked up. He did not make it. No gain on the play. As the Wildcats throttled that play at the line of scrimmage, Maulding and Golars pinned the ball carrier. Nothing doing here.
Dante Lee cutting it back a little bit. Nothing there, Dante, on the outside of Moxley. You might find something. Think he may have picked the wrong hole that time, Jack. If he could have kept going to the outside and running off the outside of Tim Moxley rather than running inside, he ran into a stone wall.
Play clock is at 9 seconds and running. Fourth down, less than 1 for the Bucks, who must get to the 16. 2 tight ends. Fry keeping over right guard and tackle. First down at the 12.
The quarterback, number 15, Greg Fry, keeps
Boy, Greg Fry has mastered that play in the last several weeks. Fry faking the dive, keeping. Surged ahead through a gaping hole.
First and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Greg Fry on the option play. We've seen it in short yardage situations on 3 other occasions, and it's paid off just like it paid off right there with Greg Fry lunging for that first down.
Split backs, first and 10 Buckeyes. Line of scrimmage outside the 11. Dante Lee sweeping right in, cutting it up, churning to the 5.
Number 20, Dante Lee, the ball carrier.
Well, Carlos Snow on the bench after being shaken up in the first half. The other reason why Dante Lee may be in is that James Bryant has been hurt, we understand.
Well, Dante Lee running out of the eye, taking this quick pitch and getting up inside Carl. Coles leading the way. Dante reaches the 5-yard line. A drive like this, Jack, can really take the starch out of the sails of a team like Northwestern. The Buckeyes taking plenty of time off the clock and right down to knocking on the door for a touchdown.
2nd and 4. Lee is to the left of Fry. It goes to Graham outside Lee's block. He's hemmed in. Down he goes at the 5. 3rd down coming up. David Eaton tracked down that play very well for Northwestern's defense. We are under 6 minutes left in this second quarter. Under 6 minutes.
Scott Graham get a good block from Dante Lee. I think he should have cut up inside that block. He may have had a chance to make something. Strung it out to the outside. All he got there was trouble from the Northwestern defenders. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage.
A time-consuming drive by Ohio State, to say the least. We're down to 5.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 4. Dante Lee for the end zone. Touchdown. Dante Lee on a bolt from outside the 5. A gaping cavity opened up in the right side of that Ohio State line as the Buckeyes chewed up Northwestern's defensive front wall. Coles and Beatty executing outstanding blocking along the line of scrimmage. And Dante Lee streaked to the end zone to make it 34-7. Extra point try by O'Moro. High snap, but a good spot. The kick is good, and it's 35-7. Ohio State leads it by 28 points with 5:20 left in the 3rd quarter.
Ohio State 35, Northwestern 7.
An outstanding drive by Ohio State, eating up nearly 10 minutes off the scoreboard clock.
Well, good running and good blocking. Stasiak, Davidson, Scott Graham, all leading the way for Dante Lee as he sprints into the end zone for the touchdown for Ohio State. It was a very, very impressive drive, Jack. Coming into this second half, Northwestern had to hope that they could stop Ohio State initially on the first drive, get the ball with the wind to their backs. Northwestern is going to find itself getting the football with 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. That's all the wind they're going to have to their backs.
That's right.
So they've got to make good use of it in a hurry, which means they're going to have to throw the football. Ohio State can simply play pass defense, rush the passer. It's going to put more pressure on Northwestern to try to score.
Fine exhibition of running by Dante Lee on that drive by the Buckeyes as Carlos Snow, shaken up in the first half, sat out that initial drive by the Buckeyes in the second half. We understand James Bryant sustained a shoulder or collarbone injury, is probably out the remainder of this game. Let's hope it's not too serious.
Well, it looked like he went down pretty hard on that touchdown reception pass of his and probably went down on his shoulder. So let's hope that it's not too serious.
A trio of Wildcats back inside the 20 to receive the kick by O'Moro, which will travel against a very strong wind out of the south. Good lift to it. Catch made at the 23. There's daylight. Out to the 48-yard line.
Number 20, David Eaton.
Fine return by Eaton, who plays in Northwestern secondary on defense and is back along with New and Ziffel on kickoff returns. David Brown perhaps saved a touchdown, tackling Eaton way out near midfield.
Well, New and Eaton can't quite make up their minds, but Eaton does take this kickoff and then breaks clear and nearly was on his way. David Brown, number 27, on the stop for Ohio State.
O'Brien slings it out over the head of the intended receiver, Carney. Lester Carney in the right flat, who along with Buchanan sports 4.5 speed in the 40.
And Jack Les Carney is the son of Les Carney. He's from Akron, Ohio. His dad, in 1960, I believe, was the Olympic 400-meter champion for the United States of America.
Carney, one of several Wildcats from the Buckeye State. Short pass is too high, intended for Buchanan. So O'Brien on 2 successive plays misfires for Carney and Buchanan.
On the coverage for Ohio State, number
3rd down and 10 coming up for Northwestern.
3rd down and 10 from the 49.
Wildcats must get to the Ohio State 41 for a first down. O'Brien, deep drop. Lobs it for Buchanan to the 30. As Buchanan found a crease in Ohio State's secondary coverage. Pelini on the hit, but it's a good gainer of about 20 yards.
Well, O'Brien missing the first 2 tries this half. Steps up into the pocket, good time, finds his #1 receiver, Buchanan, coming over the middle from right to left.
21 yards on the play.
21-yard gain and a first down for Northwestern.
This is Christian on a draw, and he is nailed at the line of scrimmage as Frimmel and Herman sandwich Christian. He might have gained a foot. That's it. Buckeyes put the clamps on that play before it got going. Wildcats in a hurry up offense now. 4.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Pressure is on. Short pass complete. And oh, what a belt. Tom Lease pancaked the receiver. Morris hauled it in, but he was drilled immediately by Lease, number 81.
Gain of 4 yards on the play.
Those are the kind you don't like to catch, Jack, but well, you got to catch him. Wow. You look upfield and you run into Tom Lease.
3rd and 6, draw play. Christian, he weaves his way for a first down inside the 15. Buckeyes obviously thinking pass. Clark and Lease teamed up to finally drop Christian. Not before he got down to about the 11 or 12.
Northwestern's leading rusher, Christian, breaks a tackle here. Another tackle, almost down, but he's got good upper body strength as it's 2 or 3 Buckeyes that have to finally bring him down. That was a fine run.
1st and 10 from the Ohio State 12.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Pitch sweep to the left. Christian plows for 1 yard, maybe 2, and that's it.
Number 34, Bob Christian, the ball carrier.
As a bevy of white-shirted Buckeyes stalled that play
81, Tom Lease.
after a minor advance, just a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Lease led the charge.
Gain of 2 yards.
Pat Thomas was also underneath the pile. Clock running down to 3:20. 2nd down. O'Brien out in the right flat. Buchanan dancing down to the 3, inbounds. It appears he's got a first down.
O'Brien's pass is complete to number 1, Richard Buchanan.
This Buchanan has swift feet. He can move, as we see here.
O'Brien on the move to the right, slightly setting up, throwing the ball out to Buchanan in the flat. Buchanan taking the ball, turning upfield. Craig on that stop.
Christian for the touchdown. As the Wildcats made it look easy, driving to pay dirt. A drive of a little more than 50 yards, using not much more than 2 minutes off the clock, and Christian caps it off on a 3rd down play, driving in from the 3. And Francis Pay's team is on the scoreboard for the first time in this half. It is 35-13. Wildcats have moved the ball to the left hash and will go for 2. In this kind of situation, Buckeyes were perfect last week against Minnesota, 3 for 3. And Northwestern went for 2 once last week against Iowa and made it. It's a counter play. Christian turning to the 1. He stood up. He did not make it. Bob Christian came within a helmet of getting across the goal line. David Brown put the clamps on him at the 1/2 yard line, and Christian is denied the 2-point conversion. And with 2:46 to go in this third quarter, it's 35-13 Buckeyes.
Well, a Northwestern electing to go for the 2-point on a counter to Christian. This play has been very successful, and he shows you great hard running at that point, and he almost gets it in there as David Brown, and I believe it was Judah Herman along with Lease who helped him to not get across the goal line and keep him out of the end zone.
Stop by the ticket office in the south end of the stadium today or call 491-7070.
Well, the Buckeyes will get the ball back late in the third quarter, leading by 22 points with 2:46 to go. We might note for you that entering this half, Pat O'Moro needed 2 consecutive PATs to tie Matthew France's record of 52 in a row. And with the 1 kick in this period, O'Moro now is just 1 away from tying France. Let's take a look at another 100-year flashback question for you. 4 Ohio State football Buckeyes have been 3-time All-Americans. Can you name them? 4 Buckeyes have been All-Americans 3 times. Who are they? We'll have the answer for you in a few minutes. Here's the kickoff by Foreman with the wind, end over end. Far beyond Olive through the end zone. Buckeyes will start from the 20.
Foreman's kick goes out of the end zone. Ohio State 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
What a difference the wind has made for the kicking game today. It's been outstanding. If you're headed north, if you're heading south, there's been really no kicking game to speak of.
Awfully strong wind here today. As you can see it right there, flags blowing.
But I'll tell you, no matter which way the Buckeyes have been moving the football, Paul, the wind has not taken the breeze out of Ohio State's sails. It hasn't slowed the Buckeyes down at all. Dante Lee jitterbugging for a yard, bouncing off, look out, a lot of daylight, across the 50, out of bounds at the 37.
Play by number 24, Greg Gill.
Great foul in this straight handoff. Dante Lee goes up. Momentary resistance, slides out of the tackle. Now he's off to the races. Gill coming up. And if Dante had a tearaway jersey here, this is not a tearaway jersey, but Dante brought down. Very fine run after Dante appearing to be stopped initially.
That run by Dante Lee covered 43 yards. This is Scotty Graham sweeping right in. He's flushed to the sideline at the 29.
Scotty Graham, the ball carrier.
So in 2 bursts from scrimmage, the long one by Lee and the short one by Graham, Buckeyes are knocking on the door, Paul.
Scotty Graham trying to get outside here, hops over one would-be tackler. Takes the long route, forced finally out of bounds, picked up a few yards on the play for the Buckeyes.
Second down and a little more than 2, nearly 3 needed for a first down. The call goes to Lee, and he bucks to the 26, maybe the 25. He's got a first down. Matt Witt slowed him down, but not before Lee generated enough yardage to give the Bucks at least 3 more plays from scrimmage inside of 2.5 minutes late in the third quarter. 35-13 Ohio State. Well, if Northwestern, Paul, had any ideas about stopping the Bucks on this drive, Dante Lee quickly answered for Ohio State.
Big run that got the ball on Northwestern side of the field, and the Buckeyes are still doing what they've done best all ball game long, and that's grind it out.
Dante Lee right up the middle, gets to the 22. Oh, if he'd broken that one, it'd been all she wrote. Matt Witt dragged down Lee. Boy, he keeps those feet moving up and down and churning all the time.
Dante Lee awfully quick, running behind Jeff Davidson that time, getting almost up through the hole, and maybe another shot at going all the way. He is quick.
2nd down and 7, 1:40 left, clock running. Keep in mind, should the Buckeyes score, Pat O'Moro has an opportunity to tie Matthew France's record string of 42 consecutive PATs, or I should say 52, not 42. Scotty Graham behind a wedge of blockers, trudging inside the 15 all the way to the 9. A defiant bolt by Graham. He would not be denied as he powered for a big advance. Goal to go for the Bucks inside the 10.
Written down by number 54, Ed Sutter.
Draw play to Scott Graham, following Davidson, getting him in good blocking and a very defiant run, as you described it, Jack, as he pounds for good yardage in there for Ohio State. Buckeyes just relentlessly pounding at that Northwestern defensive front 4 or 5. They've got to be awfully sore tonight from the beating that they've taken up there today.
A minute to go, 3rd quarter. Buckeyes threatening again, leading 35-13. This is Dante Lee looking for a seam, can't find it.
Number 20, Dante Lee. The ball
As Ed Sutter puts a charge into Dante, Terry Thomas plants a blow on him as well, and it is 2nd and goal from right at the 9. No gain on that play. 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
Greg Fry, quick pitch to Dante Lee. That's Curry out in front of him. Also Moxley, but Sutter will not be denied. He makes the initial hit. He gets some extra help by Terry Thomas from the cornerbacking position.
Play clock down to 8 seconds. 15 seconds left in the quarter. 2nd and goal. Fake dive, Fry throwing, caught by Olive. He can't regain his balance. He's tackled outside the 6. Short advance on the play. David Eaton covered Olive. As time expires in this 3rd quarter, that's it. Buckeyes knocking on the door as the 3rd stanza comes to a close here at Dyke Stadium. We've played 3 periods. Our score, Ohio State 35, Northwestern 13. We'll return with more Ohio State football in a moment.
At The Ohio State University, we're committed to excellence in all areas. Just ask our faculty.
We have essentially anything that anyone could want.
Ohio State is committed to excellence in higher education because of its diversity.
With 19 colleges, 7 schools, and many other departments and specialized areas, Ohio State offers almost endless educational opportunities. Be a part of something great. The Ohio State University.
It's the 4th quarter of Ohio State football. Jack Kramer with Paul Warfield at Dyke Stadium on the campus of Northwestern University. Buckeyes set up shop outside the 5 of Northwestern as we start the 4th quarter. 3rd down for the Buckeyes. Goal to go. 2 receivers to the left. It is Dante Lee right up the middle, slithering to about the 3, maybe the 2. It will be 4th and goal. Buckeyes lead by 22 points. First few seconds of the 4th period, and it looks like the field goal unit is coming on. Well, had the Buckeyes gotten a touchdown, Pat O'Moro would have had a shot of tying Ohio State's record consecutive point after touchdown streak held by Matthew France. O'Moro's got 51. France set the mark at 52, but instead O'Moro will try a field goal from just about 20 yards away, and it is through there. Pat O'Moro smacks it between the uprights, and the Buckeyes lead is 25 points, 38-13. So that means that Northwestern needs 4 scores, 3 eights. 3 8-pointers would still leave them short of the Buckeyes by a point. So the Wildcats must get 4 touchdowns, or I should say at least 3 touchdowns and a field goal, 4 scores, to overtake the Bucks in this 4th period. Several thousand Ohio State rooters on hand here in Evanston for what has been a great afternoon for the Buckeyes. And Brutus also made the trip. Well, the Buckeyes, Paul, have had 2 marches in this half, and each one has produced points. And Coach Francis Pay of Northwestern just did not want to see that happen. That almost spells defeat for the Wildcats.
Well, the Wildcats have been pretty productive themselves in moving the football offensively, but defensively, on the other hand, they just have not been able to throttle this Ohio State relentless offensive machine that has constantly, all ball game long, moved the ball in a methodical pattern down the field and have finished off the drives by putting points on the scoreboard.
Also number 20, David Eaton, and also number 46, Kurt Zipfel.
Amaro kicking to Eaton, Zipfel, and New. Zipfel at the 1-yard line. He retreated to take it. Gets back to the 16, no more. Good coverage by the Buckeyes, who cornered Zipfel at the 16-yard stripe. Jake Cook was the first Buckeye down to greet the return man. And it's 1st and 10 for Northwestern at their own 16 with 14:09 left, 4th quarter.
1st and 10 at the 16-yard line.
Pretty good coverage on punts and kickoffs for the Buckeyes today, Paul, except for the kick in the 3rd quarter that the Cats brought back to near midfield. Otherwise, superb job by the Ohio State special teams. This is Christian. He carved out 4 yards. Sreko Zizakovic made the tackle on Christian.
If you are a defensive player and a defensive lineman, this is a situation you love to be in because Northwestern is virtually forced into passing situations. If you're an offensive lineman, to contrary, you're receiving a lot of punishment.
You better believe it. O'Brien flips over the middle. Buchanan has a 1st down. Forward progress, maybe the 28. Orlando Craig on the coverage for the Buckeyes. 13:34 left in the 4th period. Keep in mind, every time the Wildcats get a 1st down, the clock is stopped until the chain is advanced. Clock set in motion again by the referee, John Nealon. Short pass left flat, almost intercepted.
O'Brien's pass is
Judah Herman nearly snared the rebound. That's how Craig picked one off earlier in this game for Ohio State. Judah Herman came close on that one. 2nd down and 10. Northwestern in their quick attack.
2nd down and 10 at the 28-yard line.
And now shotgunning it is O'Brien. Well, nope, he steps under center to take the snap. Counter play, Christian weaves for 4 to the 32.
Number 34, Bob Christian, the ball carrier.
Zizakovic and Foster on the tackle for the Bucks. Good to see Derek Foster back in there after the shoulder injury. John Cooper and the Ohio State coaching staff, Paul, have to be pleased to see the Wildcats running the ball.
Well, the Wildcats every now and then are slipping in a counter play or a draw play just to slow down the rush. But basically, they have to throw.
Pass in the right flat. Fumbled, lost out of bounds. It goes beyond the boundary and is marked at that point. Zach Dumas jarred the ball loose from the man who snared it in the flat, Carney. Carney skipped upfield, was close to making 1st down yardage, but Northwestern's got a punt.
Well, O'Brien throwing the flanker screen to Carney. Carney taking the ball, running with one hand. That's loosely and dangerous. And Dumas strips him of the football, but fortunately for Northwestern, it goes out of bounds.
Back to do the punting for the Wildcats is Sutter. He shares these duties with Jerwa. It's a low kick sailing away from Graham, who catches up with it at the 39. He's got daylight. Jeff Graham romping inside the 30. Jeff Graham improving on his punt return average, which coming into the game was over 12 per return. And the Buckeyes have great field position following a superb bring back here by Jeff.
He feels that punt and then takes it, as he has so many times this year, directly up the middle after taking a step to the right or to the left, and gets upfield in good shape, finally forced out of bounds, but another fine return by Jeff Graham.
Line of scrimmage, the 29. As Harrison has checked in now for Ohio State at fullback. Dante Lee dots the I. Bernard Edwards, the man in motion. Dante Lee looking for a crack. He's got it. Springs it inside the 20 to about the 17. David Eaton slowed him down.
Brought down the play by number 36.
First down scamper by Dante. He breaks one more tackle at 6 points.
Dante Lee cutting off a block inside, bursting through that hole. Now he's running to daylight. Another step or two, and he might have broken that one.
First down and 10 from the Northwestern 18.
Line of scrimmage, the 18 of the Wildcats. First and 10. Dante Lee cuts it back, angles to about the 12. Dragged down, stretching it out to the 11. Matt Witt wrapped him up. 33 is Witt. 11:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Clock moving.
France, number 70, pulling. Harrison also blocking ahead of Dante Lee, and he's starting to cut back. However, can't quite elude one defender from Northwestern. Dante Lee getting a lot of work here late in the ball game and doing a very fine job for the Buckeyes.
2nd and 4 for Ohio State. Pitch sweep to Lee, cuts it back behind Graham, upended at the 9. May have fallen ahead of the 8, a half a yard short of a first down. Thomas Humko sliced in to knock the feet out from under Dante. And that sets up a 3rd and about 2 feet needed for a first down for Ohio State.
Gain of 2 yards on the play. Ohio State 3rd and inches from the 80-yard line.
The tight end is on the right. Edwards in motion. Dante Lee's got the first down and a touchdown. Dante Lee slipped off right tackle and guard, zipped into the end zone, and the Buckeyes have now rung up 44 points on the afternoon, much to the delight of the Buckeye boosters.
Dante Lee, quick feet as you see him get a block at the point of attack. That's France. That's his quick feet as he eludes a tackler right there, gets into the end zone, darting into the end zone for another score.
O'Morrow attempting to tie the consecutive PAT string of Matthew France. It is up and good. Pat O'Morrow with his 52nd consecutive point after touchdown has equaled the previous record mark set by Matthew France. And O'Morrow received the high fives and shakes and hugs from his teammates as O'Morrow goes into the record book as a shot at surpassing Matthew France mark. And he might do it yet before the afternoon's over.
Could very well do it before this afternoon is over, the way this Buckeye offensive machine is putting the points on the board this afternoon. Straight handoff again. Good blocking as that front line of scrimmage is established. And Dante, watch this nice sidestep of the would-be tackler into the end zone. Dante Lee again scoring for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Call 724-7171. That's 724-7171.
Well, I'll tell you, Paul, what appeared to be rather thin depth at tailback maybe last spring or even late in the summer has turned out to be a pretty deep position for Ohio State.
I was getting ready to say mighty thick at the tailback position. Dante Lee, a freshman, has been impressive ever since training camp opened up, and he's just got to play more and more.
He sure does. He is explosive indeed. This is new from the 2.5 behind a purple wedge. Grinds it out to the 22 or 3. Zach Dumas zip downfield for Ohio State to make the tackle. So the Buckeye defense on the field again.
Wildcat 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line.
Bucks have featured in the last couple weeks 4 freshmen at linebacker positions. Of course, Spellman and Lease, Clausen and Tovar are also freshmen who've seen action at linebacking spots. A very young Ohio State defense, which Coach Cooper and his staff are nurturing along.
Also number 93, Paul Long.
First down play went for 4 for the Wildcats. O'Brien to throw, scrambling a little bit. Spellman chases him. Tovar shut him off at the pass. And coming up from the secondary was Zach Dumas. So it's 3rd down and at least 4 for Northwestern.
30-yard line.
Possession down for the Cats. Christian outside left tackle gets a block and has a first down.
Number 34, Bob Christian, the ball carrier.
Well, Buckeyes offense has been in high gear today, Paul, so much so that 3 Buckeyes have gone over the 100-yard mark on the ground, and you've got to go way back to October 1970 when against Duke at Ohio Stadium, the Bucks had 3 players rush for over 100 yards. O'Brien scampering out of the pocket, cornered at the 46. Second down coming for the Wildcats. David Brown on the tackle. Boy, the Buckeye running attack has feasted today.
Well, they certainly have, but the Buckeye defense has done the job. And here O'Brien finding no one to throw the football to and electing to tuck it under his arm and get as much as he can get.
Bob Christian bolting for first down yardage. Keep in mind, there is a flag down. There is a flag on the play.
Christian has really been impressive running today for Northwestern. Very tough running. That was a fine run, but all for naught, as the penalty is going to be against Northwestern holding on the play, and so a very fine run is nullified by Bob Christian.
Well, Northwestern would have gotten first down yardage well into Ohio State territory, but the old penalty bug crops up. It's a hold. And that's why the Wildcats were able to open up such a huge cavity.
Well, it's pretty tough for the Wildcats out there now, down to 45-13, trying to make something happen. And you got to do the best that you can, I guess, Jack, under these circumstances.
So it's second down all over again. Cats need 10. This is O'Brien in the pocket, airing it out for an open receiver, Buchanan, who protects the football nicely at the 42. It's an 18-yard play, first down yardage for the Cats. Mark Pelini covered for Ohio State.
O'Brien sets up quickly and sharply. I like his setup. Gets his foot up under him, almost slips, but gets the ball off quick as the receiver is into the break. Ball thrown right on the money to Buchanan. Pelini stops him.
Number 34, Bob Christian, the ball carrier. Stopped on the play by number 48, Mark Pelini.
Advance by Christian of about 7.
Gain of 7 yards.
For the Cats in a hurry-up mode.
Officials timeout.
As Clausen is the Buckeye shaken up. He's one of the 4 freshman LBs for the Bucks, who've seen a lot of playing time in the last couple weeks.
The Buckeyes are well fortified with good young linebackers. A lot of them can play very well, both outside and inside linebackers. And Coach John Cooper has to be very pleased with the development of these young players here at this part of the season.
Buckeyes with some new faces in there on defense. And this is one of those games that John Cooper and his staff have been waiting for, an opportunity to play some of the young blood on defense and give the regulars a rest. Greg Smith has checked in at nose guard for Ohio State. Sophomore from Canton, Ohio. This is Rosholt for about 3.
Number 28, Steve Rosholt, the ball carrier.
Paul Long, a sophomore from Highland Heights, Ohio, was also in for the Buckeyes along the defensive front. Very close to a first down is Northwestern. And a measurement is coming. Let's see if that play netted first down yardage. It did.
A Wildcat first down.
8:27 to go in the fourth quarter, 45-13. Buckeyes lead by 32. But unless the Buckeyes commit a ton of miscues and the roof caves in here in the last several minutes, the Bucks have got this one in good shape. O'Brien arching it for Buchanan. Is he inbounds? Yes. 1 foot was in the field of play inside the 9. Good route. Fine throw. Good catch as O'Brien and Buchanan hook up.
O'Brien turns left, throws back right. He does it very quickly and gets the ball right into the hands of Buchanan, who catches it inbounds and inside of the 15-yard line of Ohio State.
Derek Foster is shaken up on the other side of the line of scrimmage as you get a peek at the fine Northwestern receiver Buchanan. There's Foster trudging off, and it's not his shoulder, which was shaken up several weeks ago. It looks like maybe it is the right shoulder.
It does appear that he's leaning to that one side.
To be held March 10th, 11th, 1990.
First and 10 for the Wildcats inside the 15 of Ohio State. 8:19 to go in the fourth quarter. O'Brien arching for the end zone. Buchanan's got it. Touchdown! Superb throw by O'Brien. Buchanan caught it on the dead run, 9 yards deep in the end zone. And the Northwestern fans have something to cheer about late in the fourth quarter of this game.
Well, O'Brien is doing it. Quick set, sharp throw, ball off quickly and all the way, as you see Buchanan getting the ball inside of the end marker for the score. I believe Foster Polk was the Buckeye who was victimized on that play. Northwestern scoring their 19th point, and it looks like the Cats will go for 2.
The ball is in the center of the field as the Wildcats will pass the football to the end zone to try to get 2, and it's wide of the mark. Intended along the back edge of the end zone for Randy McClellan, number 7. But O'Brien misfires, and the try for 2 goes for naught. And the score remains Ohio State 45, Northwestern 19, 8:14 left in this game.
O'Brien, straight drop back action this time. Good sharp set, throwing the football for the 6-pointer again, right into the awaiting hands of Buchanan, his number 1 receiver for the touchdown. Of course, O'Brien was unsuccessful on the 2-point conversion. Buckeyes still have a commanding lead of 45-19 in this game. So Buckeyes have really been impressive today.
They sure have. Well, as we look back over the last 100 years of Ohio State football several minutes ago, we asked you who were the 4 Buckeyes who have been 3-time All-American selections. And those 4 are Chick Harley, Wesley Fessler, Archie Griffin, and Tom Skladany. You've got to go all the way back to 1916, 17, and 19. When Chick Harley was a 3-time All-American selection. Fessler in 28, 29, and 30. Griffin in 73, 4, and 5. and Skladany in 74, 5, and 6. The only one that Paul Warfield recalled was Chick Harley. That was back in your day, wasn't it, Paul?
Jack, you amaze me with the comedy.
Here's the kickoff by Foreman. Onside boot. Who's got it? It traveled 10. I think Northwestern recovered. Buckeyes were caught off guard a little bit. And it's Northwestern pigskin at the 47.
Onside kick.
Or at least it appears that way. But Northwestern was offside on the onside kick.
Flag on the play.
No wonder the Cats were able to get to that ball as quick as a flash.
Cats were quick, but not that quick.
And the referee, John Nealon, says you'll have to do it again.
For being offsides on the kickoff.
As we see the onside kick, Northwestern kicker approaches the football, but at the top left, it appears that Northwestern, it's hard to identify the player right there. Northwestern offside on the play. Cats' big chance, well, goes down the drain. They'll have to kick it again.
Northwestern preparing to boot to the Bucks, who, if they recover, the kick will go on offense once again. We noted for you several minutes ago that 3 Ohio State running backs have churned out 100 yards today, 3 of them. Graham and Snow and Lee. You've got to go back to 1970 when that last happened. Hayden, Brockington, and Kern.
Also number 8, Bobby Allen.
Of course, James Bryant went for 67 on a running play from scrimmage in the first half. And if Bryant were not hurt, he would have a shot at 100 late in this game. As the kickoff bounds into the end zone, Bucks will start from the 20. And wouldn't have that been something, Paul, if the Bucks would have had a chance at a quadruple 100?
Well, 4 backs, that really would be something if 4 backs could have gone over the 100-yard mark today. But it's quite a performance today with 3, and of course, James Bryant contributing in his fashion and perhaps almost coming close to that 100-yard mark, but having to leave the game because of injury.
Now at quarterback for Ohio State, number 4.
Kirk Herbstreit now in for the Buckeyes. The freshman from Centerville, wearing number 4. 45-19 the score. Dante Lee is leveled at the 19 as he was smacked by Jason Cunningham, number 90. 8 minutes left in this game.
Number 90, Jason Cunningham on the tackle.
Number 90, Jason Cunningham comes up with a take no prisoners hit on that one, stopping Dante before he can even get across the line of scrimmage. One of the few times that Dante Lee has been stopped on his side of the ball today.
Dante Lee behind a wedge of blockers, cuts it back, charges after the 28. Dante Lee chewing up 10 yards, leaving the Bucks a couple short of a first down. Matt Witt on the tackle for Northwestern. It will be 3rd and a couple needed for a first down.
Gain of 9 yards on the play. 3rd down and 2 from the 28.
Beatty coming in with the play from the bench for Ohio State. Edwards splits far right, Beatty to the left. Harrison and Lee behind Herbstreit. Herbstreit sprinting out. He's in trouble. He's hemmed in. Tries to get the first down. May have gotten it. Oh, a perceptive move by Kirk Herbstreit, who lunged. Might have gotten the ball to the first down marker.
Well, you're right, Jack. He was in trouble, but he managed to get out of trouble.
He pulled a Houdini on that one. Kirk Herbstreit, maybe known as Houdini Herbstreit after this game. 1st and 10 from the 30. he appeared to be saddled for a 4 or 5 yard loss, Paul.
Well, Herbstreit, after faking to Dante Lee, has the option to run a pass, but he pretty much makes up his mind right away what he's going to do. Now, at this point, he has absolutely nowhere to run. Now, how he gets out of this is amazing, but he does, as you see him reach for the first down marker.
6.5 minutes to go in the game. 45-19. Ohio State leads it. Edwards in motion. Dante Lee right up the middle, spinning for 3 yards.
Number 20, Dante Lee, the ball carrier.
Ed Sutter on the tackle for Northwestern.
Stopped on the play by number 33.
Well, this Buckeye victory today will be their 14th straight over the Cats without a loss.
34.
Well, it was a game in which the Buckeyes just really controlled the football and kept the Cats off the field. And when the Cats had an opportunity to get the football, they made some things happen, but they made some mistakes too.
Tyrone Harrison squirming ahead for 4 yards. A couple or three short of a first down.
Tyrone Harrison, the ball carrier.
Harrison is a 6'2", 234-pound junior from Highland Park, New Jersey. John Ivelo made the tackle for Northwestern on Harrison. Down to 5:15 left in the game. Clock running. Third down. Bucks need at least 2 for a first down. Dante Lee looks for the opening. He's got it. Dante Lee bolting to the 46 of Northwestern. Terry Thomas tripped him up. Another one of those plays, Paul, where Dante Lee was an eyelash from going all the way to the end zone.
Sure was. Good blocking at the point of attack, and Dante Lee knifes through that crease right there. He's almost in a way. If Bernard Edwards could have stayed with Terry Thomas, number 47 right there, Dante would have sprinted all the way again.
4 minutes and 45 seconds left in this game. 45-19. Ohio State leads it. Herbstreit looking to throw. Pumping once. He's hemmed in, dragged down for a sack of -5. Matt Witt collared him. And late flags fly.
Kirk Herbstreit rolling to his right. He's looking for Bernard Edwards. He has him open at this point, but for some reason he pulls up and then tries to make the best of it running the football, but is thrown for a loss.
And it's a personal foul against Ohio State and perhaps also one against Northwestern, offsetting penalties. And they occurred after the play, so the play stands.
Offsetting, dead ball, personal fouls.
2nd and 15 for the Buckeyes.
Ohio State.
Football just shy of the 50. Buckeyes must get inside the 36 of Northwestern. We're near the 4-minute mark. 4th quarter. Kirk Herbstreit from Centerville quarterbacking, optioning, keeping, sliding to the outside to the 42. Clever maneuver by Herbstreit as he faked the dish off, kept it. Terry Thomas made the tackle.
Tackle on the play by number 47, Terry Thomas.
Herbstreit comes to Ohio State as an option runner from Circleville High School, and what a move right there with the fake pitch and keeping the ball himself. Completely froze the defender of Northwestern University, and a very fine run by Kirk Herbstreit.
3:30 left in the game. 3rd and 6 for the Buckeyes. Herbstreit optioning right. Dante Lee gets the pitch. Runs up the back of one of his own linemen. Ivelo makes the tackle on the play. Mike Huddleston was the man out ahead of Lee. But the play is good enough for a first down and then some.
Well, you got to get out of there when Dante is coming. This is the option now. This time Herbstreit wisely elects to pitch the ball to Dante. He's coming up to Huddleston. You got to get out of the way, guy. Dante is coming.
Well, that's why Huddleston wears a 71 and not a 21.
But he still has got to get out of the way.
3 minutes left in this game. Harrison was the ball carrier on the dive, right up the middle for a couple.
Number 39, Tyrone Harrison.
Second down and 8 for Ohio State.
Tackle on the play by number 90.
Again, noting
Cunningham.
what we pointed out earlier, 100 yards today on the ground for Dante Lee, Carlos Snow, and Scotty Graham. A triple 100 for Ohio State.
Ohio State, 2nd and 8.
Buckeyes last did that way back in 1970 when the trio of Hayden, Brockington, and Kern chewed up 100 yards apiece on the ground. Herbstreit with a fake pitch and a throw in the flat to Olive. Inside the 15. Olive with a good move to the 11. Matt Witt on the tackle. Clock stops at 2:12.
On the play by number 33, Matt Witt.
Herbstreit faking to his right, then rolling back to his left, pulling up, throwing the ball very quickly to Olive. Olive in the broken field, quite dangerous. Makes a fine move back to the field. Almost breaks it, but pulled down on the play.
Yards on the play. Ohio State, 1st and 10 from the Northwestern 11.
Olive.
There's Bobby Olive. Good catch and run. Dante Lee spins away. Plows to about the 6.
Number 20, Dante Lee, the ball carrier.
A minute 45 left. It'll be 2nd down and 5 coming. Frevaletti and Witt on the tackle for Northwestern. Keep in mind, if the Buckeyes get a touchdown, Pat O'Morrow will have a shot at breaking the consecutive point after touchdown record here at Ohio State, which Matthew France had set. O'Morrow tied it at 52 on his last kick. This is Lee outside Huddleston's block. Touchdown! Third touchdown of the afternoon for Dante Lee.
No, it's 3 for Dante Lee.
3 for Lee.
All right, another quick pitch to Dante Lee following Huddleston. This time Dante Lee goes, sprints hard to the right, cuts back, and knifes into the end zone, high-stepping it. Another touchdown, the 3rd one of this afternoon for the freshman.
O'Morrow aiming for consecutive PAT number 53 to break France's mark. It is through. Pat O'Morrow in the record book, 53 consecutive points after touchdown, topping by 1 the previous record set by Matthew France. Ohio State cheerleaders also putting on a show here at Dyke Stadium today.
This fall, listen to all Wildcat football games.
A minute 15 left. Buckeyes lead at 52-19. There's Pat O'Morrow.
Saturday, Northwestern would like to thank its sponsors, Budweiser, and you fans. This Bud is for
O'Morrow hails from Radford, Virginia.
The Chicago Sun-Times. It's a smart.
He's had a fine kicking career here at Ohio State.
All right, another look at Dante Lee going in for the 3rd time this afternoon, sprinting wide to the right, stopping, cutting back. Great cutback ability of Dante, going high, stepping over a player and into the end zone. Quick feet of Dante Lee has accounted for over 100 yards rushing today and 3 touchdowns. Now Pat O'Morrow going for the record breaker right here, and he does it with that kick, point after touchdown, to make the score Ohio State 52, Northwestern 19.
Buckeyes have a new man who's on the field in place of O'Morrow to kick it off, John Berger. Berger hails from Centerville, as do Herbstreit and Thomas on the Buckeye squad. Bowman also from Centerville.
Deep for Northwestern, number 25, Pat New.
Here's the kick by Berger, and he steers it to New at the 9, behind the purple wedge. Line of scrimmage for the Cats will be the 27 with a minute 9 to go.
By number 25, Pat New.
Well, John Berger kicked it off, as a number of Buckeyes are seeing action today. Well, Big Ten play really heats up next week. We'll run down the schedule for you in just a moment. The new quarterback for the Wildcats is Krebs. Good pressure by Zizicovic, and Krebs just throws it away. Buckeyes entertain Iowa next week. An important Big Ten encounter in Columbus. Northwestern's at Purdue. Wisconsin entertains Indiana. Minnesota travels to Michigan State. And Michigan is on the road against the Illini. Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes will tee it up at 12:30 at Ohio Stadium on Saturday. Nice run on that play by Ziffel for the Wildcats, who's a backup running back and also returns kicks on the Wildcat special teams unit. Here is Krebs in the pocket. Boy, that receiver paid the price for that reception. Benson hauled it in. Tovar landed a blow on Benson just after he caught it. Play good for 5 yards. Down to a half minute left in this game. Draw play. This is Ziffel racing to the 42 of Ohio State. Tony Clausen made the tackle on Ziffel. Clock is stopped. Chain is advanced forward. Buckeyes lead at 52-19.
Gain of 16 yards on the play.
This drive by Northwestern, as have the last several, just academic. Buckeyes have it well in hand. Have had ever since the early part of the third quarter. Nearly an interception inside the 15-yard line. Lance Price on the coverage. And almost stole that football away from the Northwestern receiver. 15 ticks to go. Kevin Krebs, a sophomore, 6'2", 210-pounder. The backup to Tim O'Brien. Well, it's been all Ohio State here today, Paul. Another outstanding performance by the offensive line and the running backs. 3 or 4 weeks now, the Buckeyes' ground attack has been phenomenal.
Very consistent offense and putting the points on the board, and the defense is playing good ball also.
Reception by Morris, who's eluding Buckeyes to the 31. It's a first down. Clock stops at 5 seconds. Foster Polk on the tackle for Ohio State.
22, Foster Polk.
5 ticks remaining on the clock. Northwestern asks for a timeout. 1 more play remaining in this game.
Krebs goes back into the pocket and takes a good look, and we'll find Chip Morris from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Chip Morris making the best of his big catch today. Foster Polk on the tackle, bringing him to the surface.
Well, the Wildcats go down to their 8th straight defeat. Buckeyes' mark improves to 6-2. 4-1 in the Big Ten. Many thanks to Herb Hallenstein, who's spotted for us, kept stats.
The Wildcats and Boilermakers square off at 7:30 p.m. tonight.
Last play of this game coming up. And a penalty flag flies. Well, 3 of the last 4 games, Northwestern, Purdue, Indiana, Buckeyes ground attack. Just superb, unstoppable. All cylinders in sync.
Illegal procedure against Northwestern.
And when the Buckeyes had to throw it against Minnesota, a tip-top performance by Greg Fry and the receiving corps. Buckeyes playing their best football of the year, Paul.
Well, it couldn't come at a better time of the year as you're going down in the stretch of the Big Ten season, and the Buckeyes becoming more and more consistent on offense.
Last play of the game, Krebs is in trouble. He lost it for the end zone. The Buckeyes are there and break it up at the 6-yard line as this game ends. Ohio State thumping Northwestern here at Dyke Stadium. The Buckeyes entertain Iowa next Saturday in Columbus as their march toward the Big Ten title continues. For Paul Warfield, Jack Kramer saying so long from Dyke Stadium in Evanston, where the final score was Ohio State 52 and Northwestern 19. Hold it, there's a flag on the play. I may have spoken too soon. There is a flag on the play.
Well, they want one more play, Jack. Foul called against the Ohio State University secondary, I believe. It could have been, let's see what that foul is by the official.
Yeah, most of the fans have left. I was just trying to get out, too.
Ohio State penalized for a personal foul, roughing the passer.
Well, it wasn't a penalty on the secondary interference. It was roughing the passer, as a matter of fact.
And believe it or not, Northwestern will add a timeout to this delay, and that will prolong our goodbye another minute or so. Scoreboard clock reads 0. Of course, the game cannot end on a defensive foul.
Northwestern's basketball season is less than 2 weeks away. Bill Foster's Wildcats over the
52-19, Buckeyes. A resounding triumph over Northwestern. This was a good game in more ways than one. Another positive performance for the Buckeyes regulars. But a lot of the backup people for John Cooper got to see action. Carlos Snow was rested in the second half. Now, barring penalty, this is the final play of the game. Krebs on a post pattern. It's a touchdown. How about that? Mark Benson catches the football inside the 10, angling toward the end zone. He caught the strike from Krebs, ran a perfect post route, and it's 6 points.
Well, it was a short post going from Krebs to Benson, right over the middle, in between two defenders, and I don't think Coach John Cooper is very happy with that. Would like to have seen the Buckeyes close the Wildcats out with just 19 points. But because of that score, there's going to be at least one more play.
2-point conversion try by the Wildcats. Two receivers far right. Benson in motion. Krebs is going to keep it. He is into the end zone for the 2 points after, which finally culminates an afternoon of football here at Dyke Stadium, which saw these two teams ring up 79 points. And John Cooper's Buckeyes whip Francis Pay's Northwestern Wildcats 52-27. So again, for Herb Hallenstein and Paul Warfield, Jack Kramer saying so long from Dyke Stadium in Evanston. The Buckeyes have thumped Northwestern 52-27.
Stay tuned now as the Doctor battles the evil Time Lord. Next here on TV 34.